Ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga, ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga, ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa.
At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. You know I love you guys. You know I love every single one of you. Even if you disagree with me, that is okay. That is okay. Please hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. We're going to have 2 shows today. So we got the show today at supposed to be at 1:20, but I'm running a little behind. I ran a little behind. I'm here now. I'm here with y'all now. You know, look, I got I have two brand new microphones that I gotta get set up. They're right over here. I'm using the MacBook Pro mic for now, but I gotta start using my other mics. But anyways, we'll get there. We will get there. Again, hit the like button, make sure you share, and make sure you subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. A couple of announcements. Announcement number 1, we are rolling. We're rolling to Benin Republic. That's January 3rd through the 12th. January 3rd through the 12th. We are rolling to Benin Republic. If you're interested in joining, please visit donfo.africa. Please enter donfo.africa. Please visit donfo.africa to learn more. January 3rd through the 12th, we are rolling to Benin Republic. Come and join us. Love to have you. We are also rolling to, so here's the tour lineup for next year. Benin Republic, January 3rd through the 12th. Sierra Leone, April 20th through the 29th. Senegal, June 1st through the 10th. And back to Nigeria, that's going to be August 3rd through the 12th of next year. So hopefully you guys got all that. If not, go visit the site, donfo.africa, to learn more. And we're rolling to Nigeria in about a week. So if you last minute, if you want to come roll with us, I got a spot remaining. Come and join us. We'll have a great time in Nigeria for the Oshun Festival. I will put the link in the chat room in about 30 minutes so you guys can call in. Once again, hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. I'm taking a group next year. I'm just going to take a group next year. You know, my commitment to Sierra Leone, whether it be, them giving citizenship or not giving citizenship, was to bring people. So I'm going to bring people to Sierra Leone next April 20th through the 29th. Is going to go down Sierra Leone, whether citizenship or no citizenship. I believe the process is still going to happen. I know they're making it harder, more stringent, the process. I just don't know how that looks like yet. So I think it's going to happen. It's not about, I just don't know when. There we go. I just don't know when. I don't want this to be a word salad. I just don't know when. It's going to happen. They're making the process harder, more tougher. I just don't know how that looks like. I just don't know when it's going to happen. So it's not about if, it's about when. So we'll see. Yeah, you should, hit me up. We could, you bringing people with you. I like when people bring people. Again, I like when people bring people and bring more people. So, we could work something out where it makes sense for everybody involved. If you bring people, so just you got my number, Aisha. Just hit me up. You got my number. Just hit me up. Bring your people. We could talk. All right. So today's topic: Kamala Harris. Let's go back in time a little bit to a lady named Hillary Clinton. All right. 2016, Hillary Clinton runs for president. And I remember Black women, my sisters, who I love dearly, rallying and getting behind Hillary Clinton. She ended up losing. Then shortly after, Donald Trump won, you had all these protests. And one of the protests took place, I believe, in the Bay Area, and it was like a women's rights protest. But I called it white women versus white women who voted for Trump protests. And the Black women were just kind of sprinkled in there. And I remember Black women complaining, "How dare you, white woman? How dare you, white woman, not listen to us Black women and vote for Hillary Clinton, but instead you voted for Donald Trump? How dare you, white woman, not take the lead of the Black woman?" This is what they were saying. Like, you have Black women who were shocked that white women chose to partner and support and vote with their white uncles, their white brothers, their white fathers, their white neighbors, and not listen to Black women. This is the mentality, and it really threw me off. Like, they were upset. You had sisters who were upset that white women decided to partner with their own white men and choose Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton instead of listening to Black women and choose Hillary Clinton. And I just don't think sisters understand, like, other communities. We have to understand the Black communities in America is the only community that you can somewhat say is a matriarchy. Where when women say jump, you have a lot of Black men that will say how high. Other communities don't operate like that. And I don't think a lot of sisters didn't get that message. Again, I don't think a lot of sisters understand. Here in America, the Black community is probably the only community that you could have the argument that it's matriarchal. I mean, the Black community is the only community where you have Big Mama. And I just think, like, Black women were somewhat delusioned, thinking they're going to get other groups of women to listen to them and choose to partner with them over these other groups of women listening to their men. Because I just think they thought that how the Black community in America, how it operates in regards to being a matriarchy for the most part. Some would disagree. I would, if someone said it's patriarchy in the Black American community, I would say, okay. If someone said it's a matriarchy, I would also agree. There's an argument for both. So I just think that Black women were shocked that other groups of people don't operate like the Black community when it comes to this gender roles, if that makes sense. So Hillary Clinton, the white woman, lost. Of course, she got the majority of Black women to vote. Of course, she got the majority of Black people to vote for her overall. So she got the majority Black vote. But she didn't get the majority of white women to vote for her. Majority of white women voted for the guy that said, grab them by the, you know what? So that's a white woman with a white husband named Bill Clinton, who was a former president. She still lost. It cannot secure the majority of the white woman vote. Let's speed up to 2024. You have Kamala Harris, who we'll say is racially ambiguous, who has a white husband. Sidebar. Hold on, I'm going off topic. Sisters, I'm going to say it. The way, and Black men too, the way I see Black folks supporting Kamala Harris, who they say is Black, who has a white husband, I better not hear y'all complain about Black men with white women ever again. I better not hear you guys complain about Black athletes marrying white women. I don't want to hear this, when Black men marry white women, the wealth goes back to the white woman when I don't want to hear none of that. Never again in life. Black folks raised a little more than $3 million for Kamala Harris, Black woman who has a white husband. So I don't want to hear you guys. I do not want to hear you guys criticizing Black men ever again in life about, who they decide who they're going to marry or lay down with. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it ever again in life. Again, you pro-Blacks, Pan-Africans, black, who say they voting for Kamala Harris, I better not ever again in life hear you make the argument about Black men dating white women and marrying white women. I don't want to hear it ever again in life. That argument is dead. It's dead now. That argument is now dead. I've never had a problem with it. It's just my argument was the grass on the other side of the fence is not always greener. That was my argument. I don't care. You marry who you want. I'm not here to police who you decide to marry. But again, I better not hear it ever again in life. You guys complaining about Black men marrying and the decisions they make with white women. Leave LeBron James' son alone. Leave all these athletes in the who get drafted, and you see them, walk across when they get called by the NFL or NBA team, and they walk across that stage, and they shake the president of the NFL or the NBA's hand, and they hold up their jersey. Then they go back to their table, and they got their blonde white wife or girlfriend with them, and y'all start see all these athletes. All they do is date white women. All they do is date white women. All they do is date white women. So, Sekou, this is my question, Sekou, and I'll put the link in the chat room. Do you agree with Black men marrying, reproducing, and dating white women? Yes or no? Is that okay? Do you agree with it? Do you agree with it? I don't want to hear it ever again. I don't want to hear it. Okay, let me get back. Guys, hit that like button. She does here and Aisha, she does here and there. It depends. Like you said, when it's convenient. But everybody who's writing for her, they identify her as Black. That's true, but they sometimes get a pass from the Black community. But I'm just saying, I don't want to hear it ever again. I just don't want to hear any complaints about Black men and who they decide to marry and date. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, I don't want to hear it. Guys, hit the like button. Again, please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. So speed up to 2024. You have Kamala Harris versus Trump. It's going to take much more than a Divine Nine. It's going to take much more than, Black people rallying behind Kamala Harris. It's going to take much more. But there are plenty of there are plenty of Black people who are not. Kamala Harris is not going to get the Black vote the same way Obama did. All right. Kamala Harris is not going to get the Black vote the same way Biden did back in 2020. It's not going to happen. Again, it's not going to happen. I'm just putting that out there. You got a lot of Black people. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, because I'm not voting for Kamala anyway. I'm voting for Trump. I'll put it out there. I'm voting for Trump. You have a lot of Black people who are voting for the couch, or they're voting for Trump. I'm telling you, Black people are not rallying around Kamala Harris like you think they are. And I can tell you right now, white women aren't either. And you saw that with Stacey Abrams, Hillary Clinton, but you definitely saw that with Stacey Abrams. The only reason why white women went out and voted for Biden in droves like they did back in 2020 was because of COVID and George Floyd. So like I said, it was the white guilt votes. Joe Biden got the and called for president. I respect that. I respect that. It was the white guilt votes. That's the only reason why they voted for Biden. But after Black Lives Matters, right, dropped the ball. Well, they didn't even drop the ball. They took that the George Floyd money, declared bankruptcy, and bought $1 million worth of properties in the whitest neighborhoods on the planet. I think white people were like, okay, y'all played us. We're done with you. And it was a snowball effect. So if you notice, they went after DEI, the Fearless Fund. I mean, they're done as far as the, your white allies, as you will call them. A lot of them are done because they're jaded from what happened with Black Lives Matter. That's my opinion. So you're not going to get as much sympathy as a whole, where they're going to come and create all these programs because they feel sorry for you because of what happened to George Floyd. They're canceling all of that. So the DEI, affirmative action, examples like the Fearless Fund, examples and programs that a lot of white guilt money was flowing into, they said, we're done. Black Lives Matter. Thank you so much. So she's not going to get that majority white woman vote that's needed. She's not going to get that. And like I said, I predict this is going to be a landslide. Now, I'm not saying be complacent. Don't be complacent. Hit those polls. Vote for who you want to. Hit those polls. But I'm predicting this is going to be a landslide. Here we go. Here's another new. Me Too 5. I'm voting for Trump. Some of my LBs are starting to wake up. They might not vote for Trump. but they understand why people like are doing it. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, and people, who's the alphabet community? Thank you for the super chat, Newt. Yeah, I'm telling you a lot. And I'm gonna do another show on the Divine Nine because I'm a Kappa, so I'm Divine Nine. And a lot of people in the Divine Nine aren't supporting Kamala. I'm telling you, here's one of them. Here's one of them. A lot of Divine Nine ain't supporting Kamala. She's getting blown out. Nah, Errol. I'm not saying black people aren't going to vote for Kamala. They are. But what I'm saying is they're not going to turn out. In fact, I said it here first. Black people are going to turn out less for Kamala than they did for Hillary Clinton in 2016. Way more or less. Again, black folks are going to turn out less for Kamala Harris than they did Hillary Clinton in 2016. I'm telling you. Vaughn, you know what? I was going to get into that. Vaughn, you bring up a great point. I was going to get into that. But how can you tie that to Donald Trump? I mean, who's in office? I mean, think about it. Who's in office? Biden and Kamala are in office. Biden and Kamala are in office. Biden and Kamala couldn't get the George Floyd bill passed. Remember the George Floyd bill? Guys, did that ever get passed? Guys, did the George Floyd bill ever get passed? Guys, did the George Floyd bill ever get? Yep, nope. So I don't think it. And then also, you have Black Lives Matter who are out in the streets, hitting the streets. Black Lives Matter, they cashed out. Like where are all the activists at? Like all these loud activists. When police, when black men were getting killed by police, when Trump was in office, all these loud activists, where they at? They cashed out. They're gone. Where's Black Lives Matter? They cashed out. So let me plug in my computer. They cashed out. So it could have, but it's not, because it's a reflection on Biden and Kamala because they're in office. And then the question becomes, what happened to the George Floyd Policing Act bill? Yeah, where's hands up, don't shoot? Because you got to think about it. When Trump was in office, the minute a black man got killed by police, hands up, don't shoot that same day. Cities were on fire. Cities were on fire. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Where they at? The most you'll get now is a press conference with Benjamin Crump. Where's Tamika Mallory? Where's Tamika Mallory? Where are all these activists that was on the street? Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to make an impact at all. What happened was messed up. And I was going to do a video on that. But you can't, like, how can you pin it on Trump? So the answer is no. Listen, Sean King don't deal with them. Where's Sean King Talcum X? Where is he at? And he even said he's not dealing with Kamala. Hold on, let me pull this up. Here we go. Hold on, let me read this. Let me pull this up real quick. All right, here we go. This is Sean King. I'll put all of my cards on the table. I like Kamala Harris more than Joe Biden. I've had close friends that worked for her campaign, for her as VP, and when she was a senator. And at least she is fully alive and has her entire brain and body to run the president and be president compared to Biden. Damn, he just dissed Biden. But hey, I've been saying the same thing. Who clearly no longer has his neurological integrity anymore. But I will not vote for her or anyone based off of her iTunes playlist or a 40-year-old photo from an HBCU or her willingness to play on Black emotions. Bam, there you go. At this point in my life, I only care about policy. It's beautiful to have people that look like you in power, truly, but it's actually painful to have people that look like you in power that don't truly have the policies that help your people in mind. Joe Biden, like most politicians, mainly made promises that he didn't even work hard to attempt to keep. He didn't fight for the George Floyd Act when Democrats controlled the entire government. He didn't fight to substantially protect voting rights or women's rights. The Democrats lost the House, which simply allowed them to then say, well, if we controlled the House, we would give you the sun and the moon. But when they did virtually nothing. I only have two things that I care about regarding Kamala Harris. Will she substantially change America's policies on Gaza from supporting open genocide and war crimes that have slaughtered 50,000 innocent people? That answer is no. I can answer that right now. And I don't simply mean give speeches saying that it breaks her heart when it's American bombs and money doing the slaughtering. Will she actually hold corrupt and violent police in America accountable for their crimes against African Americans and other marginalized people? Neither Obama or Biden did this in an incredible way. Even criminal justice scholar agrees. And here's the hard truth for me. If she is going to be a Zionist who openly supports what the highest courts in the world call war crimes and genocide and forced starvation, I will not support her and will openly call her out for it, as I will police accountability, period. So per him, he's not going to support her. When did Trump say he's going to give all cops immunity? When did he say that? When did he say that? When did he say that? When did Trump say he's going to give all cops immunity? I could be wrong. He might have said it, but just point me in the right direction. Guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, click on the link. If you want to call in after the conversation, click on the link. Links in the chat room. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in, please click on the link. Also, make sure you hit that like button. Yeah, but I don't see. Yeah, it's not going to be close. John, of course. Yeah, that makes sense, John, but they won't do that. Of course they won't. Of course they won't. The guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, you can. Yeah, but I don't see a path for victory, a path to victory for Kamala Harris at all. Go ahead, Ola. Unmute yourself, Ola. Ola, you gotta unmute yourself.
I don't see it. Dan, sorry. Thank you very much for allowing me your channel. I want to know what is the definition of black in in U-Post community, and
But the definition of what?
Black. What I mean, what is black in your community? Because it stops saying people that are in your community sometimes they have 5 times been missed and they still call themselves black. That's why I think, me personally, I prefer the South Africa way of definition of black, so that it will be better, because everybody can just dance into.
Right. So here in America, we don't have color, so it's a one drop rule. So in South Africa, Kamala Harris would be considered colored, but here technically, kind of. I mean, I guess she. Well, see, her dad. So her dad has some black in him. So her dad is black. Mother is Indian. So technically, she's black. But I think the argument is, well, she doesn't have that black American experience because she was raised by her Indian mother in here in America, and pretty much for all of her life, she was raised by her Indian mother.
But if you look at her father, right?
Mm-hmm.
The father looked like somebody that is. I'm not saying black in him. The face, the future, whatever the phenotype, everything look to me like somebody that have somewhere India from India heritage. You know?
Right. So I've never seen Kamala's grandfather, but Kamala's grandma she's definitely black on her father's side. I've seen a picture of her, but I've never seen a picture of the grandfather.
Okay. Is a grandmother look like, when I define black?
No, her grandmother looks black.
No, hold on. But if I have to define black Jamaican, right? I would define somebody like that is a boat, or this other guy that is running, because now this way get tricky, because they're bringing somebody that look like Indian and say, "Oh, hello everybody, welcome. This is black." To us, it's very confusing. You understand? Obama, I can see Obama black, because you can see his father is a typical black man. It's as dark as charcoal. But this lady's father looked more to me like Chinese mixed with Indian and mixed with something else. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. That's why she said, I'm Indian. Even after that election, she said, I'm the first Indian vice president. She see herself as Indian, but not as even black Jamaican. That's why I'm always saying this. Every fake black people, when I mean fake, every fake black people will always come into your community and say they are black. Even those that look like Indians and say, oh, no, I'm black. So that's why the black American community have to redefine who is black really in their community. That's just the truth. Let's talk about your comment, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Delroy.
Yeah, her father is mixed Jamaican, just like plain Jamaicans, right? And the problem is she claimed that she's not black, until it was convenient for her to say she's black. That's the main issue of the whole thing. She said she was black. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I want to clear. Now, like I said, as far as people voting for her, and I'm gonna use my mom again. If they can't convince my mom, who again is 83, black Democrats, to vote for Kamala Harris, I don't know how they're gonna succeed with everybody else. That's what I'm saying.
No, I agree. I agree, guys. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in, click on the link. Links in the chat room. No, so on her birth certificate, it says that her mother claims to be Caucasian, and her dad it just says Jamaican. So I don't know what that would.
Hold on a second. Her mom claims to be Caucasian.
Yeah,
She's white.
back in the day, Indians claimed to be they identified as Caucasian.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, you might be right. But
Yeah,
because
because there was this so back I forgot how far back, if the only way you gain citizenship in America is if you were Native American of African descent or white. So a lot of Indians fought to be white so they could get citizenship back in like the 20s and 30s.
oh yes, yes. But you know that obviously you know that Indians have the worst system I ever seen because you know the caste system that they have.
No,
Forget
no, no.
about that.
I mean, I meant Native. Okay, so Native American. Oh, go ahead. East Indian. You mean East Indian?
East Indian, yes, East Indian. You know, but yeah. So their caste system is extremely confusing, bro, because they go along with even several shades. You know, and then when you're born in a certain caste, sometimes you're even lighter skin in that caste, but you're born in that caste and you fit in that caste no matter what, and you can't come out. It doesn't matter what shade you have. It's very confusing. You
Yeah.
know.
Go ahead, Justin. Justin.
It's not confusing if you
When I heard Ola talking, yeah,
it's not confusing if you understand if you
It's not.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just.
You know what, Elvis? Continue. Like, let him continue, Elvis. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Elvis. Go ahead, Elvis.
know race is not just based on skin color. Say it again.
I said, go ahead.
Are you guys getting me or am I breaking in?
You're breaking up. You're on your Obama
You're
phone.
breaking up a little bit.
Okay. 'Cause whoever is talking is kind of breaking in. Are you getting me, Dinus, or did you have to mute me
Go
or
ahead.
what?
I hear you. I hear you. Go ahead.
All right, yeah, like I was saying, so yeah, if she's classified as white, Aryans are classified as white, and most
You're breaking up, Elvis. You're on your Obama phone. All right, go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, so I was saying, you see, in India, the fact that Camilla has a little bit of Indian, or in this case, a lot, it just makes things complicated because Indians have this very, very complicated structure of how things work, on a racial level. Thing about Indians is that they probably are one of the most diverse peoples. But let's not forget this, and this really, really contradicts what Ola was saying. It Indians have mixed so much with these black ass East Africans a lot. Like at this point, you can basically just say that these guys are technically black. Like it's
But the thing is, I don't think so. Kamala's mother didn't spend any time in East Africa. She came straight from India. But you're right about the
yeah,
Indians like Kenya and Tanzania. You do have a point about them, but not Kamala's mom.
I think it's very important we know what region of India she might have come from. The part closest to Sri Lanka is black as fuck. Like
I
people
think
are
she's from
very.
Calcutta.
Isn't that like one of the most like common places in India? That name sounds very familiar. It's one of those. It's
But
generally speaking.
she's Indian. She's of in pure Indian stock. Let's go. Go ahead.
Okay, then that definitely isn't black enough for sure.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but like when I heard Ola saying what he was saying, I was like, yeah, but you do
But
realize some
Indians
Indians
are
like
not black. Why are we saying that they're black? They're
But that's
not.
okay.
Even
Indians
even
are
the
black.
ones from
yo,
the
have you
south, like the Tamil. No, they're
the
not
ones
black.
that
Indians are not black. The southern Indians who are really dark skinned, they're not classified as quote unquote black as we know black as African, African blacks.
Yeah, but they have a
You
lot of
have like what do you call them? Melanesians, right? You have Melanesians who are dark skinned, sometimes with blonde hair, with straight black hair. You won't classify them as somebody from my village or somebody a Igbo village. We're not the same kind of people, even though we
So
have a
you
similar
basically
skin. You know,
you
our
mean like
hue of our skin is
Negro
similar,
blood
but
by descent, not skin color. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, when we say black, we mean Afro descendants.
it's
Definitely not
kind of
for sure.
mixed. Right. So classifying as Caucasian doesn't mean that they're white as a European, but they're in that same, gene pool, that same race. Phenotypically they look similar, just their skin tone is different. It's darker than say a person from Germany or Sweden. So I don't see a problem with that. I mean, Obama mom was like Irish and Scottish or something like that. His dad was pure African from Kenya. So I don't think she's that much different in terms of her ancestry than a person like Obama, who was half white, straight down the middle, and half African from his father's side. So let's not make a big deal out of it. I don't think it's too much of an issue here.
All right, you kind of go ahead.
Fair enough.
Yeah, unmute yourself.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Prosperity to the panel. Can you all hear me clear?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, this topic is really it's very repetitive, and it's just like, if we want to be honest, during the presidential election with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, um we had more white women vote for Donald Trump. It was like 65% women, white women particularly, voted for Donald Trump. And if you go back through history, we can all agree that from the dark ages, even before, whenever there's like a movement of white men, they have women to support them. The Queen of England, we know, helped institute the order of slavery and the order of bringing slaves and precious materials and things to the kingdom. So it seems like it's like a repetitive conversation in history where the white woman, we know, has a record. She will always support her man, her progenitors, in doing whatever their agenda is set for. And I think that is going to be an issue where her husband is a white guy. And it's not, I don't want to just trump on the black and white thing or anything of that matter. It's just the fact that we see through history that when the white man, so-called, is usually has a movement, the woman is supporting him. And we have that in our culture where every great nation is behind a woman. A woman pushes forward the next generation. So I think that is going to be a downfall for her. It's not going to be a positive for her, although you do have the feminist kind of movements out there that are going to support her, but I don't think it's going to be, we talk about the Divine Nine, but then what about the Europeans' Divine Nine? What about the white Greeks and the white Greek fraternities and sororities? We don't ever speak
that's
about.
what I'm saying, because I'm Divine Nine, and it just is not enough. It's not nearly enough to get her to the finish. Not
I
even
don't believe so.
dropping the bucket.
John, are you familiar with any of these sororities that you mentioned? Do you know?
Yeah, I have family members in them. And
not the Divine Nine. You mentioned white sororities. You mentioned.
Yeah, they're a mystery to me. I've seen them because I grew up near Maryland University here, so I've seen them. I've seen their houses and everything. I've seen how they kind of operate by going to a few of their parties and things, but I don't know as much about them as I know about the Howard University organizations, because that's a part of my family too, the Howard University people.
So do you know the name of the white, quote unquote, white equivalent, that their particular name, what they call themselves?
No, I have no clue. I don't even know how many of them there are, but I do know, driving through Maryland University campus, I seen their houses, their frat and fraternity and sorority houses, but I don't know anything about them. I don't hear black fraternities and sororities mention anything about them. It's very mysterious to me. And I know that they have their own kind of powerhouse. And then I know that there's the black powerhouse. So it's like, it's very vague to me. I don't know much about it. If you have any information, I'm willing to hear. So if you can,
So, and
elaborate, maybe. I don't know.
and it's so interesting, Dynast, how it's like 400 years and there's still such clear division to even mystery about the other side. Like it's like like we all remember A Tale of Two Cities. The United States is a tale of two worlds. And that's one thing, just becoming an adult, I came to realize just Black America and quote unquote white America are literally two vastly different worlds, not even in degree, but in kind. Going to your topic, Dynast, this is going to be the biggest issue when it comes to Kamala, because she's not like Oprah. And you had to bring up Oprah Winfrey because Oprah, she's the one and only Black woman who literally was able to congregate white American women. And she's a billionaire. And Oprah has been doing this to a technique, to an art since the late 80s. And I have to say this because Megyn Kelly, she was on Fox News for well over 10 years. Megyn Kelly outright said that she wanted to be like the next Oprah. And when you think, there is something about Oprah, like the name. I remember one comedian, I don't think, not the redhead who's married to a Black woman, but somebody else said that if the world came to an end and they heard, Oprah's theme music from the early 90s, it's like, you know what, it's not that bad. Oprah's here. Like there's something about Oprah, even her theme song to her talk show. White America has such an ease and comfort when it comes to Oprah, especially white women. 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for well over 10 years, every white woman was locked and loaded to her show. Everything, like just Oprah. Even to this day, she is still Oprah. The only person maybe, going back to your topic, Michelle Obama, because when you look at people, white women can understand Oprah, her background, how she moved. Like you see, she has this success, and she's like one of those first influencers. One thing when you look at Hillary and Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton.
And not to cut you off, can I ask you a question? Where the hell is Oprah right now? She's like, where is she?
Oprah's making Dynast. Oprah has elevated. She's on the board of Novo Nordisk. Oprah has elevated. She's on the board of Ozempic. She's on their board.
But I mean, she hasn't endorsed Kamala yet, though. Like, where is she?
This is Oprah.
She was out there crying with Obama when Obama,
I remember she even said she was not going to have any other candidate except Obama. But Oprah, she needs to get well. She took too much Ozempic and she got hurt. Her number two, her girlfriend, Gail, told all her tea, all her business. So Oprah's getting well. She's not well right now, but she's fine. She has her money to make her feel better.
Wait.
Question: why would she be on the board of Ozempic? Is that supposed to be a good image? Like, what?
He's on the board of Novo Nordisk. Oprah has not only
that's a drug company. That's a pharmaceutical company conglomerate that makes Ozempic.
It's not a company by itself. Please let her finish. Go ahead, Kamala versus Trump. Go ahead.
So with Oprah now, she's going to come out, not right now. And that's a very good question, Dynast. That's a very good question because it goes right back to the topic at hand, which is the white woman problem. And you are correct. And we touched on this yesterday because Kamala she doesn't have that effect. Megyn Kelly really thought she could be, Oprah. They gave her a show on NBC on Today, paid her $30-something million. Megyn Kelly couldn't cut it. She couldn't do it. She could not connect with white women. And not only that, it even matters the time of day. Wendy Williams' show came on at a particular time of day because a lot of white women, they're at home with their children, or they're even bedridden because they're pregnant. Like these things are studied. When is that particular time of day, that moment where you're going to receive the vast majority of the white woman audience? Because they are the female majority in number and to a lesser extent influence. But I don't want to get off your topic. When you see how other women, Hillary Clinton could not reach into white women. And there's a long reason for that, Dynas, which I don't want to discuss on this live, but I can explain to you why on a later live. Megyn Kelly could not do it. Michelle Obama, number one, she is an educated Ivy League. She's a Black American woman. She's married to her husband, who is also just as educated. She was the boss when they were at Sidley Austin. That's where they met, at Sidley Austin. Michelle was his boss, or I should say more of the manager in a managerial role. Barack at that time was not yet. Not only that, Michelle even stepped back to let Barack Obama proceed his goals, his vision. She stepped back. This woman was already barred and working, making well over $300,000 a year. And this is like early 2000s. So she was making good money. And for a while, she was the breadwinner. Because Barack Obama, he fools around. He has shenanigan issues. And he smokes Newports. There's a lot of things about him. But white women can understand that because a lot of educated liberal white women have been in Michelle Obama's shoes. A lot. And I actually had dinner with a few years back with a white couple. Both of them were MDs. The husband was a postdoc, both Ivy League, and they love the Obamas. Love them. White couple, love the Obamas because they can relate. They're that liberal educated elite. That's what these two, and the fact that she is a Black woman married to an educated Black man. Nobody in white America there's no mixed with Obama. That's a whole Black man. And that again goes back to Kamala. She can say she's Indian. White people do not see, especially South Indian. They're Black. I'm telling you, my entire life, even Filipinos are considered Black to white people. They don't go in all these little boxes in depth. You have a woman, Kamala, who very much looks like a light-skinned Black woman. She does. With the last name Harris, that matters. Her last name is Harris. She's a around the way girl. She's a 90s girl from the Bay Area. They all know Kamala. We can bring up the fact that she has an Indian mother. Yes, that is her history, her culture. But one thing I'm going to bring up, when Halle Berry was on Oprah's show, the late 90s, Halle Berry mentioned that she and her mother, Halle Berry's mother is a white woman, a blonde white woman. They had the talk. And I've heard this conversation many times throughout my life. Just because your mother is white, that is not, your mother is a white woman. You are not a white woman. Your father is Black. Whatever country he comes from, your father is Black. White people, you are Black. There's no such thing as biracial or mixed. They don't believe that. And I don't know. And we're having these conversations. It's a moot point because when white women see Kamala Harris, they see a Black woman. Now they're already slut shaming her, bringing up Willie Brown. Kamala has a Black last name. She looks like a Black woman from the 90s. If you look at her pictures from the 90s, and she has had relationships, they know, with very prominent Black men.
She's not Black.
Okay, thank you, Ola. We heard your point.
She's Black. She's Black.
As I'm saying, now, with white women, she's married, there's going to be some friction. White women will never tell the truth. They will never tell you the truth. But there is going to be some friction when they see, because they've seen her with her husband, who is a white man. There's going to be some friction. It's not going to be as bad because they do not have children. If they had children, and they're trust and believe, there's going to be something. The situation,
but the man does have children, though.
Okay, but those aren't
they don't have children, but they do have a family, right?
Okay, you're not getting my point. Out of Kamala's womb has not birthed a white man's child. That's what I'm trying to get to all of you. She's married, but her marriage did not yield children.
But they do have a family, and I just feel it's disingenuous when people say that.
She has stepkids. She doesn't have children of her own.
Right, she has stepchildren, so don't just make it seem like she doesn't have a family, though. She does have a family.
I'm speaking
white
white women. which many of you don't even interact with at all. I'm talking about white women. She has not birthed his children. There's going to be friction because they're going to feel a particular type of way because she's still married to him. But in terms of, well, they don't have children, they'll let that go.
Are those not her children though? Has she not adopted those children as her family though?
Matter. That doesn't mean anything.
Not her biological kids, and they're pure white kids. They're not even mixed. They're pure white kids.
Look at Ketanji. Ketanji's in a non-elected position, non-elected. There are white women, you know, they're because they had Ketanji has a daughter with her husband. There's always going to be that in the they always have a look. They are very particular towards that. Every single time they always have. You see white women like Elon Nordgren. She's with Tiger Woods. Of course, white women like that. Tiger Woods, wealthy, golf. He's elite. So of course, yeah, white women will be when
Kamala versus Trump. You got 30
Diana,
more
you got to
seconds.
pass the mic.
I know you got 30 more seconds. I got to pass the mic. Go ahead.
When you're looking at your topic, her white women problem. Just to answer your question, yes. Is it how it's going to in terms of magnitude that we don't know because Kamala at the end of the day, Kamala at the end of the day is to help. Kamala at the end of the day is to help secure. Not even so much because they understand that there's going to be a hard road with the presidency, but when it comes to securing the House and Senate, they do believe, rightfully so, Kamala can help push them over that lead.
Okay, let me pass the Black Beauty now. Go ahead, Black Beauty.
Hi, Wagwan people, right? Listen, I just want to make a couple quick comments. So the first thing I wanted to say is, as much as we don't want to consider Kamala Black, where my father is from Yard, we consider her Black because Indian is not a high-ranking race, unfortunately. I hate to say that, but when you mix up with an Indian, that don't really give you no more power in society. That is what it is. So from you we call it Dogla, Coolie. That's what we call it. Dogla is when you have Black and Indian. Coolie is when you have. Actually, it's the other way. Dogla is when you're full Indian. Coolie is when you are Black and Indian. So to be honest with you, we have, as from West Indian standards, we're gonna consider her a Black woman, and she looks Black in the face. She don't look that Indian. That is true.
Hey, may I share something with you, Black Beauty, if I may?
Sure.
If you watch the RNC, that woman, Amber Rose,
Mm-hmm.
she actually is way less Black.
She's less Black. Yeah, she's less Black. She's Cape Verdean. She's Cape Verdean with a little slice of African.
Mother is Cape Verde, and they're like what, Portuguese, West African men.
Right.
There's really nothing so bad about Cape Verde.
Okay, let's get
Black.
Okay, hold on. One mic. Black Beauty. Go ahead.
And Black Beauty, her father is Irish, so her father is a white Irish man from Jersey, and her mother.
We know those types. You see,
and she's
still
like,
you gotta pass the mic.
So,
no, I'm talking about in Black Beauty.
And let me finish on. So you see, Amber Rose, she's from Mount Vernon, the same place where Diddy was from, and that's just an upstate white girl. Let's be honest. So I'm gonna keep it like that from a New York perspective. She's just an upstate white girl with just a little bit of Black in her. That don't really matter to me. I'm just saying with Kamala, it is what it is. But I think one of the things I wanted to add to the comments you were making, sis, was that you see one thing about Oprah. There are tropes in America, and Oprah fits. I don't know if you know, and I know you're of Nigerian background, but I know you were raised in America, so I know you know what a mammy is, right?
Oh, I know.
So Oprah is your mammy. Now, Kamala is your Jezebel. There are different positions to be played, correct? So I think that white women are not, in terms of power, they're not threatened by us Black women. They're not worried about what we're doing. They're not worried about Kamala. Let's be honest. But if we're wondering why Oprah had the success she did, because she was that Black mammy that you could put your head on her bosom and cry on her shoulder, and she would make you some pie, and she would make you some food. You understand? That's how she looked, and that's how she always portrayed herself to the white audience. So they felt a comfort in her that they've been feeling for hundreds of years in this country, in that country. I'm not in that country right now. But what I will say is I don't think any of that even matters, girl. I'll be honest. Aside from all that, I don't think any of that matters. What matters is that we now have a reputation as Black women, and it hasn't gained us anything in this America.
No.
We have a reputation of being bed wenches and women that have latched on to white men for power, but we don't have the ultimate decision. We should look at this as Black women and say, wow, my importance is not felt in this country, because as much as we're rallying behind Kamala Harris, they're saying that it comes down to the white woman's vote and what she decides in this country. So ultimately, we are here to protect the interests of the lily white girl. We're here to make sure that she's comfortable, right? That the slaves don't take her position, that her man is comfortable. This is all America has come down to, and it's unfortunate. I don't understand why we have to continue to add to that place. That's my thing from a Pan-African perspective. That's where I'm coming from. Why do we keep having to give our beautiful bodies and face and everything to this place, our beautiful souls to this place? Why do y'all keep wanting to contribute? Why do we keep having these political conversations? All of y'all got your passports. When are y'all coming back to Nigeria? I'm waiting. I didn't wait for you.
In a couple weeks. I'll be there in a couple weeks.
Come now. I've been here for 2.5
Good
months.
question.
Please.
Black Beauty, to answer your question, because you asked a question,
Mm-hmm.
to answer your question, the big reason, number one, is security. It is it's security. You're a Black woman's place. If you're not protected, like physical protection, you are in a very precarious situation. And so you're moving in a place of like survival. Like you're always moving defensively. And when you act offensively, like not like offending people, but just on the offense.
I know what you mean.
Oh, thank you.
Amaka, sorry, I just call you Amaka because I know you're an Igbo chick, so I just like calling you Amaka. Can I tell you something? You realize that, like, if she visited Nigeria, I mean, compared to a white person is more at stake if they visited any place in Africa compared to like a Black American woman.
That is true.
Wait, say it again.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Black Beauty.
It's just when they hear your American accent that they see some like interest in you. So want to like maybe kidnap you or something.
No, I don't think they want to kidnap you. I don't think so.
Dennis, I'm very, very disappointed that the definition of Black United States is very, very confusing to me.
I just, hey man, there's nothing we can do about it.
You see, they can just wash a plate and call it Black to anybody. It might be a white plate, just because they have some little kind of looking. This is okay. This is Black now, and that's what I find out that they use it to confuse the Black Americans who live in that country. Obama is a typical kid that every white woman wants to have as a child. Obama is a good-looking guy. That's why Obama.
I wasn't done. I wasn't done.
I love Obama. White women love Obama.
I want to say something to what he's saying, and I wasn't done with my own commentary, but I want to say something to what Ola is saying. I think we understand full well what America is about, especially those of us who have deep roots in America, right? Like hundreds of years of our ancestors.
I was gonna say after 30 minutes of this convo, I just realized how much you guys care about race so much in politics. Like it's deep, man. I get that America is all about skin color and stuff, but like,
why are you cutting me off?
Black
Beauty.
No, because you weren't really like I didn't hear you for a while.
Let Black Beauty finish. Go ahead, Black Beauty. No. Go ahead and finish, Black Beauty.
My bad.
All I said was
your Wi-Fi dropped.
There is a thesis. It's called whiteness as property. If you understand what America was about, it was created to uplift whites. It was not created for anybody to grab and make it their own. It was created to create a caste system that had never existed for Europeans that were failing. If you understand what America is about, it was not made for you. It was made so that you could be subjugated, so that whites that could not accomplish that what they had to accomplish in their own countries could accomplish that on your back. So read that thesis. It's called Whiteness as Property. I'll even find the name of the, I haven't read it in years, but it's critical. Any Pan-Africanist needs to read that one so you can understand what whiteness really means. It's not about the color of your skin. Blackness and whiteness in America is not about colors. It's about access, right? Access to wealth, access to the ability to build generational wealth, access to the tenets of America that were built on your back. You were not considered when the Constitution, you were considered chattel property, chattel slaves. That's what you were considered, and that's what you are, and you will be that. And that's it. That's my only comment.
The Constitution was actually taken from an Indian tribe. I'm going to get the Indian tribe now. The Constitution was a revised Indian tribes constitution amongst the native tribes that were here in America. I'll come back with the tribe.
I know who you're talking about.
Okay,
All right,
that's
let me pass
wonderful.
Quincy. Go ahead, Quincy. Go ahead, Quincy.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on, man? Yo, Dinus, I'm the guy you ran into at the Y that time. Your son was at practice.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Chilling. Just two things. One, blackness was never created to serve us. Like the lady was saying, it was really actually created to serve white people, and we was excluded. We was kind of like the dump all. And it seems like anytime we try to give a definition for it, we're other black people are the first people to fight back against it. You always hear why you trying to police blackness, and it's like, which is kind of crazy, because if you look at people's actions and what they actually react to, black people know exactly what black is, but they get real hemmy and hawy when it's time to draw a line in the sand and say what isn't black, and actually it started excluding people. That's when people started acting funny style. But people know that's why they turned up the way they did for the Black Panther movie. That's exactly why they turned, because they know exactly what black is when they see it. That's the first thing. The second thing is, dude, the white power structure knows exactly how to play us like a fiddle. Exactly. You know how back in the day, the singers or the rappers, they wouldn't get any masters. They wouldn't get any publishing anything. And anytime they got a little mad, what would the record company do? Give them a Cadillac, give them a chain. Hey, give them VIP at the club. Give them something to make them feel good, something to make them feel seen. But ultimately, nothing's going to change. They ain't never getting none of that real money. They're getting nothing to change their circumstances at all. But they get the little stuff to make them feel good. And I kind of feel like this is exactly what Kamala is. And even back in 2020, which is crazy, because 2020, all of the momentum and the George Floyd protests, all of that was funneled into ultimately getting Joe Biden hired and getting the black woman, quote unquote, black woman VP.
But you know what's interesting, Quincy, and this is the only thing I like about Joe Biden. So, like you said, with BLM and funneling that money to get Biden and Kamala, get them in office. When BLM said, "Okay, Biden, we want to sit at the table," Biden said, "Nope, I appreciate you."
Mm-hmm. Yep. And this the crazy is, to me, I'm gonna be for me, man. Dinus, I'm not gonna say I'm Captain Black America, but I am more on the side of being proud of being my ancestors in America, more so than the Pan African tip. But I'm just gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. After 2020 and seeing how black folks rallied around Joe Biden of all people, your boy lost a lot of faith. And I'm gonna be real with you. Even whatever faith I had left was killed on Sunday. When I saw all these Negroes jumping up, rallying behind this woman, and the crazy thing is that like I said, not just with Joe Biden, but if you took Kamala Harris's, if you took her record, take her exact record, and put it on a white man, on a white Republican, the same people will be up in arms. The same people would hate her if she had that same exact record and just put it on a white man. And to me, it's just I just throw my hands up, and I'm gonna close out with this, man. My barber once told me, man, and it started making sense once he said it, was that politics these days, especially with black people, it ain't about facts, it's about feelings. Because you could show them all the facts in the world, and in these days, we got them at the tip of our hand. We got footage, we got articles, we got documents, we got videos of these people saying this stuff straight out of their mouth. And you could show it to a person, on a K-High person, or back in 2020, whoever was supporting Joe Biden, you could show them straight up what they said out of their mouth. And these people, these Negroes, was still denied, or they'll straight up defend it. So I'm at the point where, think about this, Dinus, think about this. If I'm a white guy and I want to do all these bad things, in America, and I want to pass all these laws, and I want to do all these bad things to black people, right? And I notice if I do it as a Republican, they'll be up in arms. They'll be memeing me. They'll be on social media. The Roland Martins of the world will be talking to all kinds of just on me, right? But I also notice if I do it as a Democrat, not only will they not say nothing for the most part, they'll even defend what I'm saying. They'll defend me if I do this as a Democrat. What do you think? What do y'all think the takeaway is for white people viewing how black people conduct politics in the 2020s to the 2024? We are showing white people the blueprint. Black Americans, I know it's a couple of Africans on here. Shout out to y'all. But black Americans are literally showing white people. I mean, we've shown them for a long time, but it's more blatant now than it's ever been because we have so much information at our fingertips. And even with the truth right there at our fingertips, black folks are still falling for the okie doke. And I'm like, so what? I wouldn't even blame a racist Republican from switching over switching over to the Democratic Party, because you could do whatever you want to do if you do it under Democrats, and black folks go defend you. And we saw that when they defended Joe Biden. We seeing it right now while they defended Kamala. And I mean, folks just straight up lying. They straight up lie for Joe. They straight up lie for Kamala as if we don't have it's a whole video of them saying it straight out of their mouth. So I'm gonna just leave it at that, man. It's about feelings, not facts these days with politics. And I just have a grim view of black people, of black people's outlook in America, because we are playing politics all wrong. Other people are getting their money. They're giving it to these politicians for favors on the back end once they get in. These Negroes, I think it was like 80,000 people between the men and the women on what was that, Sunday night and Monday night. They about to give Kamala $2.5 million with no requirements. Nothing for nothing in return for black people. And that ain't how you play the game. And I know for a fact the usual names that was a part of it. Your Rollins, your Van Jones, car sellers, Angela Rye, all of them was a part of it. And I've heard each and every one of them talk about how you're supposed to do it through a super PAC. They break it down how you do it through a super PAC. You finance somebody, you get them in, and then they get you on the back end. And these same people are gathering all these people up to get millions and just hand this woman in her campaign $2.5 million to $3 million for nothing in return. Except, I guess, maybe they hoping they could relive their Obama years, I guess. Maybe that's what they're shooting for. So,
Dinas, the Latinos gave 44 million.
Right.
And I bet those Latinos go get more out of this administration than black people will.
It's called green cards and
there you go.
And DACA, they want that taken care of. DACA. That's
right. And when Kamala was asked what she was going to do for black folks specifically, she hammered hard and told her she ain't going to do nothing for us specifically. When she was asked what she going to do for the undocumented and all of that, she ran it down. The amnesty, the DACA, she ran it all down. It's specific. This is all on camera for people to see. And like I said, it confused me. I'm like, how you looking dead at this on camera? And I'm sorry, on video, and you just ignoring exactly look at how she responded to one group, and not just her, Obama, anybody. Look at how they respond when they're asked about what they're going to do for black people, and look at how they respond when they're asked about what they're going to do for any other group. Pick a group. Look at it, and it's a stark difference. And you can show it to any of these K-High folks. You can show it to any of these Divine Nine, Boule, HBCU, Talented 10th folks. And it don't even matter, man. Folks just want to live out their Obama years, go party on the White House lawn. That's all they shooting for. But overall, black people we gonna be left behind in the dust. And it's just sad to see, and it's actually disheartening. It's disheartening to me more than anything. It's disheartening to me, to be real with you.
Right. See, two things though. Two quick things. Number one, there is an inadvertent division amongst black people on the gender line. So number one, there is a push by the RNC for black men to vote Republican. And this has been efforts for probably 10 years now. So Amber Rose coming to the RNC, that of course was planned and makes sense because of how she looks as a quote unquote preference. And she does date very wealthy, well-to-do black men. So you have the RNC using one biracial woman. And now the DNC their candidate is Kamala. well, to Black people's perspective, she is biracial or not fully Black. And this is more in line for Black women. So you have the RNC campaigning towards Black men and the Democrats campaigning towards Black women. And it is kind of brewing a gender divide because there's going to be a high volume of Black men voting Republican, probably the most ever on record, probably since the Civil War. And then, of course, you're going to have the strong Black woman turnout for Kamala, like 92%. Watch it even be like 96 or 97%.
Yes, yeah.
But can I ask you something, Miss Nigeria? What do you say to the because my mom and most of her church people voted for Trump the last time because of this LGBT bull that they're not going for. So what do you say to those Democrats who voted for Trump, elderly church Democrats? Just ask a question. You answer it, if you don't mind.
Elderly church Democrats?
Right. Like my mom who voted for Trump.
Okay. I'm sorry, what's your question?
The question is, you say all these Black women, 90% is going to vote for Kamala. So what about the mostly Christian Black elderly, a lot of them church people who not going to vote and did not vote Republican the last. They vote for Trump because of the LGBT issue that they're not going for. Because that's why my mom is not having vote Democrat the last time. Democrat the last time because of that reason.
I mean, I can respond, but I'm not sure what your question is, though.
I think he's saying, what do you say to the
Delaware, we could barely hear you because I don't know if you're talking away from the phone, but I'm thinking I think Delaware was asking, how can you convince his grandmother who's voting, or his mother? Hey, Delaware, you got to talk to the phone.
Convince his mother to do what, though?
Vote for Kamala over Trump. She's voting for 83 and she's voting for Trump and not Kamala. How would you convince her to vote otherwise?
Well, I wouldn't convince her to vote for Kamala. I wouldn't convince her. She's already voting Trump. She has her reasons. I wouldn't convince her to vote Kamala. For myself personally, Dynast, I told you where I stand. So, and I probably voted for Trump the same reason Delroy's mother voted for Trump. Probably the same reason, or one of the same reasons. But if you're a black Christian women did very well under Trump. I do know a few Black Christian women, very good Christian women, and they voted for, and they are very pro-Trump. And so
but remember I mentioned like feelings over facts. I remember the guy made a joke, but he was telling the truth about the people who got out of jail. The felons who got out of jail and they got their voting rights restored under Trump, I guess sometime between 16 and 20. And he said when they got out of jail and they were able to vote, they voted against Trump. Even though he was the one that restored their voting rights, they voted against him. So like I said, at this point, man, it's kind of, like I said, for me, it's kind of futile. And also, let me tell you something that I saw that was really interesting. And you will love this, Dynas. You will love this, Dynas. What the guy said was, and I saw this on Twitter, so I'm paraphrasing, so excuse me if I get it wrong. But he said something along the lines of, if after 8 years of Obama, white America got so mad that we got Trump. He said, imagine if we get Kamala in there, right? And now not only can she hide behind quote unquote being Black and call anything racism, she can also hide behind sexism and any criticisms. And so for the next 4 to 8 years, if she gets in, any criticism of her even if it's legit, we just say legit, anything that's BS is BS. But just say legit criticism. Any legit criticism, which we're seeing it right now, would be accused of being racist and sexist, right? And they said, imagine white folks got to go through 4 or 8 years of that again. And he was pretty much saying whoever follows Kamala will make Trump look like, I don't know, make Trump just look like Barney, you know what I mean? Because for me, I'm not saying I don't want a woman to be president. I'm saying I don't want anybody that can't be criticized to be president, because that's not going to fare well for anybody if you can't criticize them. And at this point, if she gets in, like you said, they splitting the brothers and the sisters. Black men can't say nothing. We can't say nothing right now. They've been trying to shut us down since Sunday, or even since 2019. We can't say nothing. And white dudes, just anybody, non-black people can't say anything. White men or any other man can't say anything. So I think it's going to create I'm not saying that it'd be better if it's under Trump. I could just see stuff really and truly boiling over to a certain degree. And just my last thing, let me just end with this. Over the last few years, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but the Democrats have kind of shuffled black women as the face of a lot of their policies, a lot of their movements. They keep the whole thing against Trump down in Georgia. They put Fannie Willis.
I say this.
Yeah.
Kamala, when Kamala loses, I honestly, and I want to be very careful. I love my sisters, but I'm just gonna keep it real. Kamala loses, Democratic Party's done with black women.
True. But this is the other thing. If she loses, if she wins, they've ultimately made black women the face of fighting against American racism. And that's what scares me. That's what scares me, is that they keep putting these sisters.
Well, Quincy, they didn't make them anything. Black women chose.
Right. You're right.
You can't blame anybody for that. And I knew the setup from the beginning.
You're right. Okay, you're right. They definitely chose and let them slide right on in there. But I'm just worried about how is that going to manifest when you know how them folks get, man, when they want to get mad and they want to go do something to somebody, because of whatever, because stuff ain't going the way they want it to go. And all they've been seeing is these sisters. They've been seeing these sisters left and right, black women over here, black women. I just worry, I just worry about that more than anything. You know what I mean? Because I got sisters. My mom, she passed away, but I got sisters, cousins, aunties, I got all of that, wife, all of that. And I just worry. I worry about them, and I worry if that's going to really come to a head to a certain degree, especially if she get in. And
yeah, that's my whole. Excuse me, but you keep saying especially. Who's going to vote for her to bring her in? That's what I want to know. Who's going to be voting for? Please don't say black.
So no, hold on. Let me just be clear about. So 2 things. I don't think that initially I thought it was a shoe-in. I thought she's going to get all the energy. She's going to get all of the fun. That's the first thing. Second thing is, and I just saw a Trump ad where he said something along the lines of, you're not about to get your first woman president, your first female president. And I'm like, I'm thinking like, Trump, that's how you go lose. Because if you say that and they keep running that, you gonna start pissing off women of all races, including some white women, to the point where just because you said you anybody no female president, some people might just I ain't saying a lot. I'm saying it might be just enough to push Kamala over the finish line. And this is the other thing
bro, come on, man. Do you think these white people and white men is going to vote overwhelmingly for this woman? Are you kidding me?
Okay, hear me out. I got one more thing, and this is really the big part. Back in 2020, because of COVID, they got a little lax. They implemented a few different changes in the requirements. I forgot the details, but it relaxed the requirements of mail-in ballots, right? And pretty much the gist is, if you're on the ballot sheet for mail-in ballot, they just send it out to you. You don't have to verify it or anything. Just send it out to you, right? So I'm not saying that I 100% feel like 2020 was kind of stolen, but I just remember that night when I went to sleep, Trump was up. When I woke up, suddenly all these mail-in ballots magically came out of nowhere, and Biden won. So I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if that magic.
It's not gonna be a surprise, bro. Ain't no surprise.
I wouldn't be so confident, man. I wouldn't be so confident and arrogant to say
Obama,
what won't happen.
Hold on.
Then Republicans got a problem.
Real quick, let me pass it to Judge Dreds. Judge Dreds, have you spoke yet?
No, sir.
Go ahead. Mike's yours. Go ahead. Floor is yours.
Greetings to you. I'm kind of new to the channel, but your video's been lighting up my algorithm. So congratulations on heating all of these subjects you bringing up to the forefront. Greetings to the panel. I could say a lot of things about this Kamala thing, about who to vote for thing. I kind of agree with the sister. This is a lot of the gender war bleeding into our politics because it's sort of a stereotype that all black women vote Democrat and black men are rebelling to get back at the sisters. I don't think they're voting on policies. Let's get back at the sisters by voting for the Republicans, which is really spiting your nose. But I have 2 points I would like to make. First of all, about Kamala and her blackness. We American blacks consider being black more than skin color. It's if you ride with us, as if you're culturally black, if you share our mentality. You understand? Kamala was raised by an Indian mother in Indian culture. She's not culturally black the same way Obama was. He was raised mostly in Indonesia, around the world, and more often with his white grandparents. So he wasn't culturally black either. So I can dismiss her being black because we don't share the same experience. It's not about genetics. Of course, she probably got some black in her, but she don't think the way she do by saying, and I understand why she said she can't do nothing for us. Nobody you see on TV is going to sit up and say we're going to do nothing for black people. That goes because they won't get anywhere saying that. They will get canceled. And that goes to my next point. We as black people are arguing about which plantation to vote for, and they're both for plantations. Neither one of them are offering us any tangible for our vote. They never have. Democrats haven't. Republicans haven't. So I would have to ask, what are we voting for, people? What are we getting out of it that immigrants who can't even vote get out of it? That Asians who barely vote get out of it? You know what I'm saying? Why are we arguing about this? Our problems will never be solved by politics because we're just here. When the Constitution was written, we were still slaves. None of that pertains to us at all. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's representing what we want. Everybody say they cutting the check, and ain't nobody, they laugh when we say that. Every 4 years, they concentrate on the black vote, and then we disappear after the election, right? Everybody telling us who to vote for. They not asking Asians who they voting for. They not asking Latinos who they voting for. And I will tell you, Democrats have transitioned to the female vote. Kamala go with the abortion thing that they've been running on. It's not about us. It's not about black people. I don't divide black people between men and women. We black, we should be a group, but then that's our problem, isn't it? Unity. We are so dispersive in our viewpoints. You know, black people got money. Look at Republicans like, I can get a tax break. They can help my business. While blacks who don't have those benefits, we looking at the benefits that Democrats mostly give us. So what are we arguing for?
Judge, what's that? What is that? What benefits they give us?
They can give you housing, food, and all that stuff. You know,
where can I right now give me some free housing and food at? I want to go. Where can I go? What Democratic office right now?
I'm a veteran and I get housing benefits.
You said what?
So I'm a veteran, so I get
but
through the VA. They help me pay my rent.
But Judge Ray, you're a veteran. You gonna get that regardless. You're a veteran.
No, you don't. No, you don't. All vets don't get
Republicans ain't threatening to take that away also. So that's a false statement.
Hold on, one mic. My father is a veteran. He served in the Air Force, fought in Korea. And no matter who was in office, when something was wrong, he took my ass right to that VA.
Yeah, because
so that's what I'm saying. You're gonna get that regardless.
Oh, and Dynas, you also qualify.
Everybody don't get that though. A lot of veterans don't need any help. They good.
But what's that got to do with the Democrats? It's a veteran.
Democrats mostly, and I'm not a Democrat. Don't get me wrong. I'm not political. I don't care about either one of them. My point is, None of these people are offering us anything. What are we arguing about as far as who to vote for?
We're not
The
arguing
best
about nothing.
strategy
We
we
are
can
holding
Yeah,
the
but
have.
you just
Democrats
said
accountable.
you
It's called
get
holding them
thing
accountable.
on the Democrats.
I would
It's
appreciate if
called
y'all
holding the
don't let
Democrats
me. I
accountable.
didn't
Hold on, hold on.
Anytime
Let
black
him
folks
finish.
come up,
Hold on. T, let him finish. Go ahead, Judge. I'm just confused by your statement, Judge. Because I said, what benefits
My
are the
main
Democrats
statement
giving
is,
us?
what are we arguing about who to vote for? What have
No,
we ever
but
got voting over people?
I have a question. I just want to make sure I understood you right. You said the Democrats are giving benefits, and I asked what benefits, and you mentioned the
They mostly finance social programs. That's what I meant, right?
Like what?
Just the various programs that help poor people or people in need.
Oh,
Most Republicans
Jesus,
don't like
Lord.
social programs,
Like what?
right?
What social
They call
program?
it socialism. But I'm not a Democrat. I'm not caping for Democrats. I'm not a Republican. I'm apolitical.
But you
I don't
just
care
said
about either
so.
one of them. I just said that. I said that in the beginning.
I'm so, Judge, again, I'm
Can
asking
anybody tell me what we ever got
Judge, help
voted?
me
That's
out
my
here, Judge.
question.
Because, Judge, I want these free benefits. I ain't gonna lie. Where can I go right now and get these free benefits? That's what
It
I want.
depends on your income and your situation, sir.
Okay.
I get housing programs because I was a homeless vet, and Obama said homeless vets don't need to be on the streets. The VA has a program to help me pay my rent. I pay some of my rent, but not all of it. And that helps me a lot to survive
Bro,
on a
you're not making
disability
sense at all, man. You're
program.
not.
I'm not making sense to you.
No,
He
you're not
just asked
making
me a
sense at
question.
all. You're not making sense at all, bro.
Okay, explain what I'm not making
You
sense about.
I got about 10 vets in my family.
Okay. And
they got the same under a Republican or Democrat. It didn't matter.
Obama came up with the HUD VASH program for veterans.
Oh
That wasn't
man,
the
now
Republican.
somebody did the most. All right, bro. You should have known.
And you can't tell me that because I know that because I'm on that program.
Judge
Yeah,
Dredd,
well, like I said, I got 10 vets in my family.
But that's an aside to
what
what my
Judge
point
Dredd
was. I asked,
remember
what have we ever got voting for anybody?
what Judge Dredd is speaking about. Remember the housing crisis in 2008, 2009? Obama had a number of housing programs that were dispersed to Americans. There was one program that went specifically for veterans and also for active as well. So that's what he's referring to. There was also something called MHA, Making Home Affordable. That's what Obama used, that program, the money, to help modify mortgages. Because remember, many people were losing their homes, they were underwater. So Obama had programs.
They still lost their homes.
And that's a whole other conversation, Delroy, but I'm just trying to explain what Judge is stating. Obama had programs specifically for veterans at that time because of the housing crisis. And Judge Dredd is probably a recipient, and also your family as well, Delroy, of those programs.
Right. So, but that was
my family was receiving that before Obama came into office.
I understand. Yeah, so to touch on what you're
Not
saying,
that program that I'm on, sir.
But then I need to pass the mic to T. Khalid. Then I could respond when COVID happened. I mean, we got checks.
That's true.
So I mean, it goes both ways. Go ahead, T. Khalid.
I think the frustrating thing is that it's very frustrating when black people come to independent people or mostly black folks who understand that both sides are corrupt. But the moment we start talking about holding the Democrats accountable by voting for Trump, then they come, why are you always voting for, why always fighting? Why can't y'all just see both sides corrupt? Why don't you go to a liberal channel? Like, y'all always come. Like, I never see these people on these liberal, high left liberal who always tells black people to vote blue no matter who. They always come here and start talking at both sides stuff.
If I can interject, same thing with me. So if I was, being Pan-African, I was saying, let's ride with Biden and vote for Kamala, man, why you voting for Trump? Why? Like the minute I say, basically saying I'm voting for Trump, I get criticized more than people who are Pan-Africans who say they're voting for Kamala.
Exactly. Because it's still this stigma that they don't want to admit that they have, that they automatically put conservatives into the coon Uncle Tom bucket. And this is because of the media manipulation against black people Black people in the celebrity movement, Black people in the Congressional Black Caucus, Black politicians on TV always calling Black people coons for voting for the right. So these people are still conditioned and brainwashed. That's why they always get upset, or they try to divert the conversation where we are telling Black people we need to hold the Democrats accountable instead of just sitting out and then just letting them win, showing that they're never going to be held accountable. No, we're going to hold them accountable by voting for Trump, and then by extension, closing the border, by extension, ending these wars, by extension, bringing jobs back, etc. But these Negroes, it's like they don't have strategy. They just want to sit back and complain. We have a solution. It's called holding people accountable. So that way, if y'all don't want these daggone Republicans to win again, come to the table and take us seriously. We're not going to be sitting out doing that both sides. And also think about this, Donis. When in history has the media ever been on the side of the people or some type of revolutionary movement? Never. The fact that Trump is getting attacked by the mainstream media, the CIA, the FBI, Hollywood, like you can't even be in mainstream entertainment supporting Trump. This man is an outsider, but yet we're supposed to just sit back and just side with the media, side with the big structure side. And I honestly think, that assassination attempt is hitting towards the inside job, but we're gonna side with them instead of the person who is an outside structure. That doesn't make any sense. That's why I don't listen to these both sides people, because they don't go deep. To me, they are surface level thinkers, to be honest with you, because they cannot see what's really going on and where the power structure is really going.
Hey,
But he didn't mean both sides, because he said he get more under the Democrat. So he really meant Democrat.
Exactly. They always pull that
Not
on
a
us. They will
Democrat.
never go to a Democrat and say the both sides. They only talk to us about it in a way because they're upset that we are voting for Trump. That's
Hey,
why they pull that both sides argument.
hey T, just to piggyback to a certain degree off what you're saying, man. These people, the people you're talking about, man, I don't think they're as like naive or not as strategic as you think they are. Back during 2020, man, I'm gonna tell you, I know a lot of smart people, man. I know a lot of smart people, and I'm talking about business owners, people who cut deals, real estate, everything across the board, right? The same people that know how to negotiate deals. Those I never forget it, man. Those same people who experts at negotiating deals, negotiating salaries, playing hardball, using your leverage. For some reason, when it comes to applying that same logic to voting and holding the Democrat Party accountable, it's right out the window. I took it, like I said, I had to accept that it's feelings over facts, because it never made sense to me.
Yep.
I'm like, hold on, you're a business owner. Hey, you switched careers like 5 times in the last 15 years just to get your salary up. Like, y'all know how to do this stuff in any other facet of life, but suddenly it's foreign. You can't comprehend what I'm saying when I say, hey, use the same way you negotiate and use leverage to get your salary up or to cut these deals or sell this house. Use the same, damn near the same concept, the same approach. And like I said, I guess they just either blinded by Trump, blinded by Republicans, or it's just like damn near. Honestly, it's damn near like being a Democrat is a religion in the Black community. Like, you know how with religion, if you ask one too many questions, people start to get mad at you. If you ask one too many questions, people start to feel a certain type of way. That's honestly the feeling that I've gotten over the years, just by asking the questions about the Democratic Party and about like, hey, I don't think this is working the way we want it to work. You know what I mean? Hey, well, what about this and what about that? And it's honestly feeling like the vote blue no matter who. Like, when it comes to black people in Black America, that the Democrats probably got more power than damn Jesus. And I say this too, and I say this. Democrats run every facet of Black American media, every single facet of it.
Absolutely.
Every single facet of our media, Democrats got a stronghold on it, and it took me a while to realize that, until I think it was 2016 when I realized for something that Killer Mike said with V103. When he went up to V103 in 2016 when he was endorsing Bernie, and V103 told him, "Don't say nothing about Bernie." Straight up. And this is during the primaries. So this wasn't even when Hillary won. This is during the primaries. So the Democrats control us from top to bottom. And I got just one more thing, and then I'm out. And this is circling back. It might seem off, but I got to say this because I need people to hear this. This whole notion that because Kamala went to an HBCU, people keep throwing that out there to justify her blackness, and they kind of making it seem like because she went to an HBCU, she's ingrained in blackness. I went to an HBCU. I don't want to say it publicly, but Dynas know because it ain't too far from where he lives.
Hey, Quincy, Quincy, 1 second. Sorry to cut you off. Guess who also the alumni of Howard University?
Did he?
Rachel Dolezal.
there you go. But she ain't pledged. Maybe if she pledged, then she could be black. I think you got to be at HBCU and pledged. That's what it seems like the great combination. So what I'm saying is, just people bring up going to a HBCU as if that means that you're ingrained in the black community and in blackness for the rest of your life. I'm gonna tell you, as a person who went to one, I've met many people. I could name probably about 7 offhand that I know for a fact they grew up in all white area, didn't grow up around black people like that. Their first experience was in school, right? In college. So the 4 or 5 years, depending on, whatever, that 4 or 5 years, it's all black. They, HBCU this, HBCU that. We all in school together, cool. After they graduated, they went right back to that white life that they came from, which confused me. It confused me. But some of my friends, like, hey, that's just who he is, But I was confused on how you come here for 4 or 5 years and ingrained in blackness, nothing but black all around you. And then when you go back to California, or you go back to, say, I don't know, up north, Chicago, Philly, so wherever, and you right back around the white people like that. So I'm saying that to say, her going to HBCU, people keep giving it way more weight than it should have, because just because she went, that don't mean she's like all black after that. And you can see that in her circle. You can see it in her circle when she did her VP pictures. She did her immediate family, which is her white husband and her white kids. And then when she said, hey, bring in my greater family, which is about another 8 to 10 people, 12 people, I think it was one brother in there. It was like Indians and white people, and I think maybe one brother, but it was from a distance, so he might have been a dark-skinned Indian. I'm not sure. But her whole circle is like white, so it's not even like she went to Howard like Kwame Ture or something, and it was enlightened, and it came over to the black side. No, she went right back to that non-black life she came from, and it's reflected in all of her decisions and who her spouse and who her extended family is. So I just had to say that because I'm kind of tired of seeing people use the HBCU as some kind of lifetime ticket to the cookout kind of thing, like lifetime black pass that she get. It's kind of
that's for the low IQ, bro. That's why they use the HBCU. See, when it comes to our people, it's never about policy. It's always about relatability. Oh, she eats fried chicken like you. Oh, she listened to Tupac and smoke weed like you. That's how they talk to people who they don't think has a high intellectual thinking capacity. That's why they keep throwing that HBCU BS on us. Who cares if she went to HBCU? She was in California, and from what I heard, like from I don't know too much of the details, but I heard she's like blocked evidence that would have prevented a death penalty, and she's extended people's marijuana sentences in California. Just a whole lot of stuff. Tulsi Gabbard called her out on that, and she never had a response for it.
See, if I can
interject, she was quote unquote black.
But see, I want to interject real quick. What's interesting is they're not bringing up her truancy laws when she was locking up.
No, they won't.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like
because it's against women. Because it's against women.
It affected women, black women.
Exactly.
Yeah. They have a case. It was a case where the police shot a mentally disabled woman, and she put the charges on the mentally disabled woman. And the woman won the case. The jury sided with the woman against the police, and Kamala Harris lost that case. But they'll never say nothing about that. And if I bring it up in my alumni Facebook group, oh, I'm all kind of Trump this. Oh, and I'm like, no, y'all Negroes are the ones y'all the sellouts. Y'all are
exactly.
The black boule, the HBCU, and I hate to say this because I might be getting in trouble right now saying this out loud. But the black boule, the quote unquote talented 10, the Greeks, the HBCU grads, I promise you, they are the first line of defense for white supremacy. They are the reason why we can't get
Yes,
shit
sir.
done. We can't get because every time we try to get something done, hey, these niggas come. I'm sorry, man, I'm getting a little worked up. But hey, they
Wow.
come swooping in to put the fire out. To put the fire. I know how y'all feel about the ADOS movement and all that stuff, Tariq and all of that stuff. But a lot of that was put out because they don't even want us to even have a distinguishable ethnicity. They don't want us to have nothing. Even the people on the groundswell. I saw this lady on Facebook say that the black the black agenda should go through HBCUs, right? And I'm saying no, it shouldn't because. First off, only 30% of 35% of people black people go to college. And of that 35%, only 10% go to damn HBCUs, which means that's 3% of the population. And she's trying to say that the black agenda needs to go through 3% of the black population. Just fuck everybody else, huh? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, that's I'm getting it together.
If I may interject. Well, the brother said something about blindness. Why are we blind to the fact that politicians don't run this country? Not even the president. Who told
Yep, that's
Biden he
facts.
had to
I'm not
drop
even
out?
American, but that's facts.
You see, Judge Dredd. Notice that the people who vote for Trump, we don't just talk about Biden as if he's some final boss. We talk about the CIA, we talk about the FBI, we talk about the mainstream media, we talk about the whole package. But you liberals who talk about Trump, it's almost as if
I'm not a
Trump is the
liberal,
main
brother.
bad
I'm
guy.
not a
Okay,
liberal.
not
Don't
you, but
label
I'm
me.
talking in general. Trump is the main guy. If Trump wins, democracy is over. Trump is the existential threat. It's like the other side does not have the capability to look outside of Trump. That means they trust the corrupt system. They don't even see nothing wrong with what New York did to Trump. And what that means is allow women to go back 25 years to accuse someone of SA. They did that particularly for Trump, but no corruption there. Nobody
But
sees any corruption there.
I'm not
They
talking about
allowed a
Trump.
jury. They tried that man in the bluest city, had a hostile a DA whose whole goal was to go after Trump, who has a never Trump judge whose daughter profits off of profit off that case for the Democrat Party, but no corruption there. It's just all Trump, Trump, Trump. So no, you're talking to the wrong people, bro. You need to go to the other side and start telling
No, I'm
them
not
it's
talking
not
about
the
Trump.
presidents that run everything. It's the outside
I
because
said,
you
why do
always
we
come to
think
us independents
politicians
because you
run this
don't like
country?
that we support Trump. That's why you're talking like this. But you're talking to people who already
I
know
didn't say
this.
nothing
We
about
know this,
Trump,
bro.
brother.
I
Did
know,
I
but
say
you're
anything
talking to
about
people.
Trump?
You're talking to everyone on this panel who already know it's not the. You think Biden is running this country? We're not, bro. We're not dumb, bro. We know Biden ain't running nothing.
Trump got
Can
paymasters
I
too,
bring
brother.
One mic, one mic. Let me
I
pass
want
it
to
to
I want to make a
alchemizing
statement
energy.
real quick.
Let me pass it to alchemizing energy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to make a statement, and I think that people, I'm not sure if you guys if you're talked about this, about the fact that, okay, so you have a cop kill a young lady. First, I want to just say, shouts out to Prince Dynast Amir. Man, I've been watching your stuff for a long time, and man, shouts out for your bringing Africa to light and everything like that.
Thank you.
I love your show.
Thank you.
You know, and I practice African spirituality, and some of what you did helped me with that. So
thank you.
Now one question I want to bring to the panel, I'm not sure if you guys covered this, but I believe that every time we have a liberal, right, that's supposedly colored, there's always some kind of shooting that happened or pow-powing that happens of a person of color, and then there's this whole uproar. And my thing is that now you have a Sonia Massey situation, and okay, during Obama's presidency you had Trayvon Martin, right? Now it's Sonia Massey. So do you think that they're going to probably try to use this to try to get the black vote? You
know what? We actually spoke on this earlier, and I'm saying no because where are all these black activists at? What happened to Tamika Mallory? Black Lives Matter. They already cashed out. So I say no.
Hey, Donis, I think they are doing this because they don't want the BLM destruction under the Biden regime. So they're kind of calming down. If Trump was a president, you better believe that
Oh yeah, well, but see
city would
that
have been
was
burned down.
that was under Trump. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
When we were discussing this earlier, I was like, "Where's hands up, don't shoot? Hands up, don't shoot." Yeah, it's
and that
just
was a brutal killing too, bro. That was bad, bro. Like I saw
right.
that video.
Yeah,
That was terrible, bro. There is not going to be no protest because it's like black people, if the media doesn't tell us to, and they look at the
right.
president. To them, Democrats winning is far more important than sending a message to the police.
Right, and he brought up a great point, T. I said since Biden is in office,
Can I ask you guys something?
well, hold on,
Everybody on this live.
let me finish first. Thank you. So, T, I was also saying, T, because I brought this up earlier because somebody brought it up in the chat room, and like you said, since Biden is in office, they don't want to make Biden look bad, and then also too, it makes him look even worse because what happened to what really came from the whole George Floyd situation? Because the George Floyd bill, I don't think was passed.
Symbolism, bro. I think Black Lives Matter got rich. That's all I know.
Right,
A lot of white liberals grifting got rich too.
right, and it's so Black Lives Matter, and it's funny. This is why I like Joe Biden. Just just because of because what he did was gangster. What he did this. So Black Lives Matter, they were expecting a seat at the table when Joe Biden got into office. That's why they were going so hard for Joe Biden. You know what Joe Biden told them Negroes? Appreciate your donations, but we good. No,
Wow.
for real. That's what happened. So Black Lives Matter, Tamika Mallory, Mison, all these so-called activists, they all cashed out. So no one cares.
So there's no person right now that's going to try to politically align this movement with a Kamala Harris or
Nope. The only person, because then they say they do that, then the question becomes, what happened to the George Floyd bill? What came from George Floyd? You guys, in fact, they'll probably question and challenge Kamala and Biden more because of the shooting, because of the lack of them not passing that George Floyd bill. Because they were promised all this police reform, and none of it happened.
right. So it'll make them look like, okay, well, y'all didn't do nothing about that, right?
Exactly.
So what do you think about the FBA movement? The whole that Tariq Nasheed is he the head of that? The FBA?
Yeah, he doesn't claim. He claims it's not an organization, so he claims to be a face of it. But we have to throw this in as well. That we have to, in regards to Kamala Harris, I'm predicting that Kamala Harris gets less of the black vote, way less of the black vote than Hillary Clinton. And FBA ADOS, even there are people out there that might not claim it directly, but they are by definition, and they internalize it. They don't consider Kamala Harris a black American. So they're like, we're not gonna vote for her.
So do you think that the FBA movement will be able to push for the reparations and make that into a political thing? Like
I don't think they are big enough.
They're not big enough. They're not serious.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get to that, you got to put your money up, and they're not putting no money up.
They're not serious, Dynas.
Yeah, they're not in the media. Democrats don't even take them as a threat.
They were never
they're not a threat.
serious. It was just money making and a trademark, and to just garner clicks, views, and contents. Neither ADOS or Tariq are serious. Because here's the thing, Dynas. Tariq Nasheed has a very long and extensive background in Hollywood. He really does, right there in California. He used to be a writer on Michael Moore. He had a show on Bravo in the late 90s. Tariq Nasheed was a writer. Tariq Nasheed used to sit in these rooms as a writer and give out ideas. So this man has connections. Yvette Carnell went to Howard, political science major. Antonio Moore went to UCLA undergrad and Loyola Marymount for law school. All of these people have great backgrounds, very long, extensive backgrounds, and they're all Gen X. Yet they cannot come together as one unit to pass a bill. They can't even lobby. They're not even lobbying. They do nothing. Tariq Nasheed was he was able to speak at the California reparations conference they had before city officials. They actually put together like a task force, and a number of people came to speak and lobby. Tariq Nasheed made a complete ass of himself. And I really mean that.
I saw that. I saw that. I
So
saw that.
he was never serious. And you notice now he's gone off to going after African people, all the tether talk and Akata and all that stuff, African booty scratcher. He was never serious.
So do you think, what about the thing with, what's his name, where Myron and Mr. Dixon, with that whole thing about where he talked about him being from the Sudan, a war-torn country, this, that, the other. Do you think that affects that whole FBA thing versus Africa?
The FBA movement is not relevant right now.
Africa, though, alchemizing energy, there is no FBA versus Africa. Like there is none. There's no.
It's not. They're a non-factor.
There's no numbers for Africans to even remotely be against Black America or FBA. The numbers, we're talking 1 in 10. And that includes islanders. The United States is not going to just bring in African people to do anything. And the only reason Sudan is because that's Sudan, South Sudan, the war they had, the Arabs going after Black Africans, Black African Christians. They were given refugee status in the United States. And that was under the Bush administration, by the way. So that's why you see some Sudan, you see people like Myron, because of what happened with the Bush administration when they were bringing in Sudanese refugees. So that doesn't even have anything to do with the Democrats, nor does it have anything to do with Black America, just the United States helping out a war-torn country. Tariq,
can I ask you guys a question, please? Like before you proceed, Dynast, and this is like a question for everybody on this live stream, because someone said something about I think it was alkalizing energies. He said,
"Ask the question."
His wife.
Yeah, first you got to get off that Obama phone first, brother.
Yeah, you're on the Obama phone. Kamala versus Trump. Go ahead.
No, the reason why I was asking that question was because I felt like with Myron now starting to get into politics, before he was into the red pill, now he's switching up his whole platform after he have been able to get I believe he got kind of demolished by I think it was Mr. Dixon and Mr. Nasheed. I feel like now he's trying to use his platform to try to convert people over into the Republican thing, and now you have more Africans from that West Africa starting to join into that frame. Do you think that that's going to cause more division between the Africans and the Black Americans?
No.
I don't think so.
There is
Yeah,
no.
he doesn't even talk FBA versus Africans on Myron's platform.
Yeah, there is.
No, he is really known to say that. I watch a lot of his stuff on his podcast, Fashion Fit. He always emphasizes on how much Africans just come to the United States and they ball way better than Black Americans.
I was on this other channel.
I mean, that's a true statement. Even though I'm
yeah, but I mean,
can't really
people don't like the truth, bro.
That's a
I
true
was on this
statement.
other channel with
can't hate
Q
on that.
Butter.
Oh, go ahead, up, man.
I was on this other channel with Q Butter, and Q Butter is saying that Black Americans are disadvantaged and everything.
Yeah. He said that, and he basically explained that out. He said it's because the Africans who actually do come to the States, when you think about it, he's actually right by saying that the Africans who come to the States, to have that access to even be able to come to the States, they come here as fairly wealthy middle class Africans. The type of Africans that would be considered rich back in Africa. When you think about it, it's true. So he was basically saying that they are on par in wealth with middle class white Americans. So you can't compare them to the average Black American, who is basically closer to that lower class middle income.
That's not entirely true, Justin. Remember, the vast majority of all immigrants who come to the United States is through familial ties. So you could have.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they have people here who are already wealthy, making money.
Right.
That's how they have money.
No, it's not that they have money back in their country. It's because they know someone here in the United States who has a green card and is willing to sponsor them. And however that person in the United States obtained that green card, whether it be through marriage shenanigans or whatever, that's how people are brought. So you could have a young woman or a young man who came to the United States, however they did, maybe through a student visa, they meet someone and then they get married and they run that green card situation. Once
I
that
don't think, well, maybe I'm saying that because I'm in the UK and that's not the common way people actually get here. Like the very common way is because they have so many family members here and they end up coming here because of that. Not because they married someone foreign who lives in America and get a green card. That one is common. Like you see a lot of footballers who are Nigerian and German descent because the mother was German and probably smashed the German lady and managed to get a green card. But like the most common one, such as me, for example, is you have a parent here who has been living here his whole life, but you grew up back home in Africa. You just come here because they have this thing where if you're literally under 18, you can come here and live here for the rest of your life.
they
5 years
have
later,
that,
boom, you're a citizen.
they have that here in the United States as well. However, you have to be, again, someone with a green card. And if you do have the green card, you can bring a minor. You can bring a minor, and that minor can become a citizen. So Justin, my father, he came here over 50 years ago. Once he obtained his green card, then his citizenship, then he was able to go back to Africa to find a wife. My mother came here on a green card. She never did paperwork. My dad did so my dad literally brought a green card to my mother. I was already born there. I was born a US citizen because my father was already naturalized. So that situation is rare. What I'm referring to, which happens, and this happens a lot with the Asians and Hispanics, a lot. You can come here, you can sneak here, you can get yourself here. Once you get with an American, if the American files for you, like they have to file the green card married, then you can basically fast track your way to eventually United States citizenship. I think it's about 10 years once you receive your green card. But once you have a green card, you really have all access as a United States citizen except voting. But you have everything else, basically. You can work.
Oh, wait, so children of like immigrants cannot vote?
Children of immigrants?
I mean, you're children. You can't vote if you're a kid, right?
Well, not children. I'm saying like if you were raised here and if you're
once you become a citizen, you can.
Yeah, you have to be a citizen.
Naturalized, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
All right, let me pass to Rokoya. Go ahead, Rokoya.
Hi everyone, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, I just jumped in. I don't even know what the conversation has been so far, but I just heard the last comment and I thought to jump in because I often hear people talk in general terms about Africans that are coming to the United States and all that and blah blah blah. They come from elite families and so on and so forth. And I just like to always put in perspective that the Africans have come here in a lot of different phases. There was Africans who came here after our independence moves when America was trying to get influence in Africa. So through a lot of the foundations that were sponsored by the Rockefellers and the Fords, a lot of poor Africans came here, but they came on merit. They came because they were smart people who had, were excelling in the universities and there's a whole lot of other conversations about how they were earmarked by the CIA and all that. I don't know all that, but I'm just saying that there's a whole set of Africans who came from many countries that were becoming independent because America was trying to get influence on the continent. These people, some stayed. A lot of them went back, but a large
But there's a
percentage of them
difference.
also stayed and got married. I'm just trying to tell you that people can't make these types of statements and say the African, because every phase in which America interacts with Africa, levels of African immigrants come. Recently, a lot more people are coming on these lottery visas strategies. And the people who are coming, if you actually look, these are not wealthy people. These are people who are really lucky. And then, of course, goes back to family ties and all that. So I don't think it's really accurate for people to just make these blanket statements without nuance in it. And that's all I came to say. I'll stay on quiet and see if there's other things I want to comment on. Thank you.
Do you mind repeating what you said? There was a drop. You cut off for about a few seconds. Do you mind going back maybe about 5-10 seconds what you said?
I said at this point I will be quiet and wait for additional commentary and then I'll comment. I'm just saying that in general, when we're talking about Africans here, it's not accurate to generalize and say things like Africans coming elitists. You did some breakdowns and that's good, but I'm also saying that remember that these things come in phases and Africans have been solicited to come to this country for various reasons. And it's not always the elites that are coming. It's not always the wealthy that are coming. That's
But
all
there's a
I'm
difference, though.
What's
There's
the
those.
difference?
The difference is there's those who were forcefully brought to America, and those who willingly came to
Oh yeah,
America.
I mean that's a obvious. That's a moot point. That we know
That's a
Africans came
different thing
here. It's a
entirely.
moot point. I
That's
mean,
The
I'm
ones
not
who were
talking about that
forcibly
kind of
brought here
historical.
do not want to even be here in the first place, and they were not and they were not able to
Of
thrive.
course, of
And the ones who
course.
I
came
think
on
the
their
That's
issue
choice
that
wanted to
people
absolutely
thrive
have is
here.
fine.
if
She's
immigrants
referring
come
to
here, they
African
should be.
after the 60s. That's what she's referring to right now.
No, that's a moot point. I mean, that's obvious. I don't have to state the obvious. I'm talking about those who are coming in as immigrants now.
That's what she's
Yeah,
discussing.
but I think that the immigrants all get a bad name because of the high amounts of illegal immigration pouring into this country, and you see a lot of immigrants who came here legally quiet on it or for it. And, instead of
Do
them
you
saying,
know
"Hey,
who the
we
most
had to
illegal
fight hard
immigrants
to get to
were?
this country," instead
Do
they
you
are
know
like
the most
pro illegal
illegal
immigration,
immigrants
which
come
is a
from
bunch.
Europe? Do you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. I'm saying all. I'm
Okay,
saying,
so it's not
I
it's not
said
even
all.
connected.
So it's giving immigrants a bad name because people are like, we don't need any more because we have an open border and it's just like the immigrants who's not even born in this country comes over and yeah, sure,
See, Khalid,
keep
you know
your
what you're
But
country's
saying
this
right
border
is not
now.
open,
true. It's
not
because
my
people
country's border, but keep
manipulate
your
it.
country's
That's
border
not
open.
true.
That's kind of crazy.
It's the
Yeah, I
media
feel
that
what you're
is
saying. I've been here
manipulating
for a
that.
while. And you know, one common question people ask me that's so racist. Like, well, this is the UK, anyways. In the America, it's probably even worse. But I hear it happens a lot in places like Germany. They will meet an African man with an African accent, talk to you for a while, then they'll ask you this question, like, how did you get here? It's so annoying when they ask that question. It's so mind-boggling. It's like, because especially I'm not sure how it is in those countries, but I heard like my friend in Italy told me like in Italy once they see you with that African accent, they just assume you swam, you crossed that Mediterranean sea. They just
And that's
assume
the
you
question.
swam to
Why
get
does
your way.
that bother you? I mean, I don't see what the bother is. If somebody asks you how did you get here, you don't
No, you
belong
don't
there. You
understand.
don't
Like
Yeah,
in
but the
certain
belong
stigma
places,
is coming
is
from the
that's what
illegal immigration.
yeah,
The
exactly.
illegal
That's what he's
immigration
trying to
is
say. That's what
creating
he
the
people
stigma.
have this stereotype that we African people, because of how primitive we are, this is where it gets very racist. They think we swam our way to get here because we're that
Pop the
desperate.
border, yeah.
Exactly.
again,
But in America, most people who do that
I'm
are
missing the point.
Mexicans.
If
Right.
somebody
But
Yeah,
I do
Mexicans
have
have
I
been
do have a I do
stereotyped
have a
hard now. I don't think Africans are, but Mexicans definitely
Okay,
are.
well, let's do this. Let Rokoya. Are you go ahead, Rokoya? Then let me know when you're done.
no, what I'm saying is I'm trying to understand why I was an immigrant. I'm no longer in the US, but I lived there for over 30 years. I mean, listen, if somebody asked me as an African, how did you get here? That's not my country. I came from a different country and I tell them exactly how. If it's racist, if I think the person, sometimes they just really want to know. They're that ignorant. I mean, I literally had to tell people that there were telephones in Africa, there were roads in Africa. These are professors in universities. People are very ignorant and they're not always being racist. So I mean, I think it's some sort of our own internalized negative perceptions of self. So when somebody asks you where you're from, you think they're saying something negative. Yes, I'm from Africa and I'm here. There's
You
nothing wrong
think
with that.
regular people ask that question? How did you get here? Nobody acts like that. Nobody
Really?
asks you a question
Yeah,
like that.
people who ask
That
questions like that are
question is
feds.
yeah. That no, they want to that. How did you get here? Question. That's an aggressive question. That's assuming you
It's one
didn't
of
come
those
here
really, really
legally.
racist
That's
undertones.
an
You
aggressive
get what I
question.
mean?
Yeah.
It's
How did you get here? Doesn't make any
they know
sense.
what they do when they ask those types of questions. Trust me, they know what they're doing.
Let
Exactly,
me
They
exactly,
put
probably
a
want to
exactly.
question
report
to
you to the
you.
And the
authorities or
advent of
something.
illegal immigration is creating that. To be honest, I do think illegal immigration is hurting all immigrants and is giving all immigrants a bad name across the United States and Europe. And I think these countries have to seal our borders. We have to. And to
Let
be
me
honest, I
tell
don't
you
have a problem with
something.
legal immigrants. I have
I
no
can't say
problem with
your
legal
name,
immigrants.
the colleague, whatever. Illegal immigration does not come. What you see is the tip of the iceberg. Much of the illegal immigration you get in this country are people who come here on legal visas from Europe on F1 visas. Many of them Europeans, white Europeans don't go back, and they are the illegals.
They're not overwhelming the
No, you
United
don't. No,
States.
no, no,
Come
no.
on,
Right
man.
now,
Come
right
on.
now,
Seriously.
at the borders.
The truth,
Hold up,
Chicago
no,
is the truth.
Kamal.
Seriously. That is a
What's
deflection of the eyes
Nobody's
towards.
denying what you're
Wait,
saying,
let me say
but
this.
that's not
Who's
the
saying
big
that?
issue in the United States. The big issue is not, you're correct. You have, I've experienced it myself. You have people that come on visas, student visas, F1, H1, we have in the United States, etc. They stay, they don't leave. And then once you have children here, then you basically never have to leave. And you see that across the board. You mentioned Europe. It really is China. It really, really is China.
Thank you. I was about to talk about the fact that there's a bunch of like immigrants
It's
coming
China
from
number 1, 2, 3,
South.
4, and 5. The issue in the United States is that when you have the Latin Americans, because they border the country, like Mexico completely borders Texas, they're coming in completely just unknown, and the level of crime, it is unbelievable. So we can't use the same example as a visa to what's happening with the border, because visa, there is still some parameters of control. Like at some point, nobody can just come unless you're crossing through the southern border. Nobody from Europe, Asia, or Africa can just enter the United States. Like there's always measures of control. We don't have that with Latin America. And with Latin America, it's just like it's bombarded. It's like at a level that you just like it's overwhelming. And it's been happening since the 90s. This situation with the border, this did not start happening with Trump. This has been going on since Clinton. This exact same going underneath the border into the United States. What a lot of people can do is that they hire a coyote who brings them back and forth from Mexico to the United States, and then back again. So they're like the underground with Latin America and with the United States is a whole other conversation that doesn't have anything to do with
but hold on,
You are so right
say
about that.
something really quick too. The reason why I brought up the whole Tariq Nasheed and then Myron and things like that is because like I said, with the border, with the way that they are putting people up, giving them cards and stuff with money on it, and putting them up in the hotels and paying for them to be, I don't know who these people are, but there's entire like groups of people that they're putting in the hotels that are letting them through the border and putting them up. And then and what people were being told is that they're being put here to sway the vote. And then you have a person like Myron that is out here kind of pushing certain kind of ideals when it comes to like swaying the public, right? And then getting on these different things and saying certain kind of racist rhetoric. And so he switched his platform up, and now you have a lot of like what I would say is that West Africans that are Islamic, right, that are beginning to follow that rhetoric. And then what people are saying is that that's going to, the whole objective is to get them to come here and sway the vote and to be able to vote and do different stuff to like make the vote more towards whatever different things. So that's what I was really bringing these things up for, is to see whether you guys are aware that this is happening.
No, that's not happening. His platform is about relationships and men leveling up. Most of the times, yes. Most of the times when black men or men in general are independent and are awake and understand what's going in mainstream media, they're not voting Democrat. They're either independent or they're going to punish the Democrats and vote Republican. Myron talks a lot about foreign policy. So when you have that foreign policy knowledge, you tend to shift more anti-war. Right now, which candidate is pushing towards more peace? Trump is. So you have to understand it's not some agenda. I strongly believe with this platform, he's trying to wake young men up about what's going on politically. I don't think it's some switch up. He's always been bringing people on this platform to talk about politics. So he brought on Candace Owens. He brought on this independent called Scott Ritter. You probably don't know him. He's been talking about politics a lot. I don't think it's just this agenda to bring right word. And to be honest, I honestly don't care. If more black people goes to the right, I don't see what's wrong with the conservative ideology, meaning family first, taking care of your own first. I don't, no LGBT nonsense. I don't see a problem with any of that. So yeah, if they want to make young men want to be more independent, not rely on women or other people, they're going to have to take agency of their own life, and they push them to conservatives. So be it.
Yeah, Dynast, I was about asking this question until I think someone cut me off, so I couldn't still ask my
Yeah,
question.
let's do this.
I was going to ask, so like,
Let's get back to Kamala Harris. In fact, alchemizing energy. How do you feel about Kamala Harris?
I honestly feel that there's a whole thing going on with it's a Brex or something like that. I think that she probably would not be able to have the same influence when it really comes down to those things, like creating like a, because I think that Trump, I think he has the ability to probably stop some of the things that's going on with China and probably create some kind of a synergy. I'm not sure whether or not Kamala would really have the ability to really make that peace. You know what I'm saying? I believe that Trump probably would be a better person to be able to go into those places and kind of create like some kind of synergy with that situation. I don't know if she's strong enough, because really, what has she done? I've not seen her really doing anything. I'm like, what is she really doing? And then with the Biden administration, they shut her out of all the decisions that were really being made. I don't know why, but they did. So really, as a president, I don't really see how she's going to be able to like go when you have a whole system that is being created that's going to shut down the American dollar if we don't make peace with them. When we have like, what is it called?
Can you please talk to your fellow sisters? Tell your fellow black women that and see what they say. We can wake them up. Are you going to be able to do that?
She's really doing any work in Russia, China, Brazil. What's it called? It's a Russian, China, Brazil, Russia.
BRICS.
It's called BRICS. Okay. So when we have we're in a situation where the American dollar can be crushed, right? There needs to be someone that already has a relationship with these people that's not going to allow that to happen, and we already have China already here on American soil. And if the wrong person gets in this whole situation, there's already the military of China that's pretty ready to like just take over this country as we speak. So bottom line is that we're in a very volatile situation. Russia already sent nuclear things over to Cuba, which is right next to America. So I'm like, dude, bro, I don't understand where she can have any influence, because I've not seen her do anything during her even vice president, trying to create peace, trying to like do things as anything during the time of Biden. So I would think that as a vice president, she should be over in these places trying to create some kind of a peace to make sure that they don't come and try to take over. If she gets into office,
She's not going to do it. You're absolutely right. She has never been anti-war. She's always been a globalist, and this is the problem. Unfortunately,
agreed.
One thing I was going to say too is that even Hillary Clinton, she wants the war. If I don't believe, I think that once the Democrat, I'm not sure if the National Convention has happened, but if they like kick her out and put Hillary Clinton in, she wants the war. So I'm like, that's even scarier. So it's like even though she was able to raise this money, because let me just even say this: you have Dr. What's his name, Dr. Cornel West, that's also running for president, right? And everybody just forgot that he's even running, But I would say this is that like when you have this whole thing, when you have like these black people that's running, doing different stuff, and the only person, even Dr. Cornel West is even trying to deal with like the Palestinians and things like that. I don't see where Kamala Harris is doing any of these things, and he's doing that he's trying to create peace in Palestine as a not even like a independent. He's as an independent, but I don't really see where she's doing anything. So I don't understand what she's going to do.
You need to talk to other black women about
I
this.
think it was Poland, alchemizing energy. Kamala went to Poland, and I believe the Ukraine as well. And the press conference didn't go too well. She started laughing again. You make a good point, because the young Black woman, Jasmine Crockett, the one who read, she read Marjorie because of Marjorie's behavior. She went on one of these news shows and she said that the DNC doesn't even want Kamala either, which also goes to what the Ocasio-Cortez girl said as well, that, I'm in these rooms, I'm in these meetings, and they don't want Joe Biden and they don't want Kamala either. So the DNC, the DNC elites, they do not want either Joe Biden nor Kamala. They don't particularly, just like you said, they don't, it's just like they don't respect her.
Oh, Hillary Clinton. She's going to
they don't respect her. They're not, it's as if the DNC is having a hard time seeing Kamala Harris as president. Because at the end of the day, everything.
Let me interject real quick. When you say they have a hard time seeing her as president, what are you saying she's going to be the nominee after the convention, or what are you saying?
So I was just responding to commentary that the other two House members, Jasmine Crockett from Dallas, the young Black woman, and then the Ocasio-Cortez girl, both of them have come on the public. Jasmine Crockett went on the news, I forgot which show, and Ocasio-Cortez was rambling on Twitter that I'm in these meetings, I'm in these rooms, and they don't want Kamala to be the nominee. They both directly said that. Like the DNC does not want Kamala.
Yeah, because Kamala not fit to be in positions of government because of her ways.
Yes, thank you, Shubham. Yeah, it is kind of coming to that. That is a factor. Is that I don't think the DNC sees her as, they don't see that maturity, that gravitas, that she doesn't possess that foreign policy background. Hillary Clinton did. She did. And they do, the DNC is begging for Michelle Obama to run. She doesn't want to run. So it's as if they have third string, which is Kamala, the one they don't want her to be the nominee, but Kamala does poll better than Biden. And Kamala, at the very least, is going to rally for the House, because Biden staying in the race was actually causing trouble to many of the House and Senate races. So the DNC did not want to just lose everything. It's as if, okay, we have Kamala, we may lose the presidency, but there's a good chance we can keep the House and the Senate, or at least even gain or stay the same. If we keep Biden on the ticket, we lose everything. And losing everything is massive, because remember, SCOTUS is 6'3". So they're basically playing like it's a lesser of two evils till we can at least get to the election.
Can I make a prediction?
Well, go ahead. Make your prediction. I'm gonna pass it a free game, and after that, Colin, go ahead and make your
prediction. My prediction is a riot. Okay, 1968, the Democratic Convention. I think there was a riot.
Yes, there was.
I believe that there's gonna be people outside and inside. There's gonna be a divide, and it's gonna be like the 1968 Democratic Convention. I think it was 1968 when they had a whole riot breakout. And I want to say that.
You're right.
I want to just say that here in case it happens. I won't be the first one to say it. I think it's going to be upheaval. I think it's going to be a serious thing closer to 19. I think it was. I'm not sure what the exact date of when.
No, you're right. Goldwater and them. You're right. It was no. You're right. It was 68. And
let me pass it to Free. Go ahead, Free Game.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good.
Kamala just come out, when she was in the White House, like Kamala versus Trump said, they don't want to deal with her. And she just come out and bounce her butt, the chitlin circuit, just the regular chitlin circuit, hot sauce, catfish nuggets and all that, and we're talking about, Black Americans, we talking about the African immigrants. But we're not talking about the Chinese immigrants and the Mexican immigrants and how Mexico is working with China and China supplying them with fentanyl to come into the country. So we're not talking about how Mexico is cooperating with with our enemy. And Kamala is pro immigration. So black people are going to be out their black jobs if that keep on happening. It with Kamala Harris and the Democrats, they want everybody to come over here illegally. At least the Africans, look, if an African come over here illegally, at least they had to cross the goddamn sea to get here. They not at a damn border. So we're focusing on our attention on the wrong thing, and we definitely have to keep Kamala out.
Yeah, and Kamala not even black. She blackfishing.
It doesn't matter if it's Kamala or any Democrat. It's all gonna be the same.
One
Go
more
ahead,
thing.
Freaky.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
Also, she's Indian descent. That's too goddamn close to China.
All right, let me back. Go ahead, Kala. Unmute yourself, Kala. Kala Genesis.
He's ramping up. He's ramping his engine.
Can you hear me?
We hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is like what I want to understand, right?
Oh, my bad, Kala. My bad. I had actually muted you. Go ahead, Kala. Go ahead.
Okay, this is what I want to say. I ask people all the time, black people in particular, what policies are you so excited for Kamala to run on? What policies? Black people don't vote on policy; they vote on likeness.
We gotta stop Project 2025, man. They take away our democracy. You gotta stop Project 2025. Go ahead.
Well, we are saving democracy, brother.
Saving democracy. We gotta stop Project 2025. Kala.
More like democracy.
Go ahead, Kala. Go ahead.
My whole thing is, and I have nothing against Kamala, right? Nothing like that, right? But she was made charge of the border, right? Now, this is.
Yeah, Kala on his Obama phone. Come on,
What
guys.
is going on with everybody?
Ah, dang, bro. Come on, bro.
With StreamYard.
Go ahead, Kala.
Dang.
Kala, can you repeat what you said?
Kala, you on your
It's gonna piss a lot of people off. I don't think that the majority of people of color, black people, and these new wave immigrants love this country. I really don't. They don't have the best well-being of this country's future, and don't appreciate the country's past. That's just fair. No, black people, slavery, Jim Crow, I can understand that and everything. But you got people coming off the boat don't like America and everything. So when you talk about America might lose to China, you got people actually rooting for China. You got people actually rooting for Russia. You got people actually doing that, and these people are growing in large numbers in this country. It's almost like the Ku Klux Klan and the right wing in this country decades ago predicted, right? If you let all these people of color in, they're going to destroy this country from within. And that's exactly what's happening. That's why the people that love Kamala hate America. That's what it is. They don't care. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's true. You can't look at this lady, right? She's completely unfit for office, or Joe Biden and everything, and say like this. Donald Trump, say what you want about Donald Trump, right? And you look at the MAGA people, and you look at their festivals, the 4th of July, and all stuff like this. These people actually love the country they live in. They celebrate the
If there's
D-Day.
one thing the immigrants love about this country is the money.
The immigrants only come here for the money. They don't give a damn about this country. That's the truth. Kamala doesn't love America. None of these people come like this. Black people have a gripe about America because of slavery. And that's what it is. And so therefore, instead of us being honest, right? Al Sharpton once said that I'll go to my grave. I'll never say that I lived in the land of the free, home of the grave. Fair enough. You don't love America, right? But why is he on MSNBC talking about I believe in this country? I believe in America. We want American democracy and everything. When should you become an American Democrat? This is what I'm talking about. The hypocrisy. And the bottom line is they're growing in large numbers. And what's going to happen is this. I'm telling you right now, if this keeps on, you're going to have a revolution in this country. A bloody revolution, a bloody civil war. And you think this can't happen? You guys are underestimating the right wing in this country. Really underestimating this. And the bottom line, a lot of black people are going to pay the price because we're a visible target. We're going to get killed.
But how is this revolution? The revolution's already televised, Kala. Look what happened January 6th.
I'm telling you.
That was not a revolution on January 6th. That was just a bunch of angry white people protesting. That is nowhere near a revolution.
That was just some rednecks just upset. That's all.
Thank you. Yes.
Dinah, I wanted to just
Kevlar.
Okay, hold on. One mic. Go. Alchemize the energy. Go ahead.
Right. So I just I'm sharing my screen and I'm showing the Chinese owned farmland. So here's the thing that's scary about this, right? So you have loads of Chinese people coming into the border and things like that. And then what this thing says, okay, is that right now there is a fear right now because they're putting their farms right next to military bases.
Hey, somebody needs to stop popping their phone or something's going on. Like somebody.
Yeah, I'm not on the phone. I'm on like a.
Okay, you're good. You're good. No, not you. Just somebody else. Go ahead.
So they're placing their farms right next to military bases. I want to know from either candidate, what are you gonna do about this? This is scary. Like what? So
I think Biden. I think Trump will be the best person to address
you
that.
understand? If
Yeah,
you don't have a person
Trump
that's
said he's
strong,
going to do the biggest deportation in history. So yeah. Let's go ahead and get him in.
how
The
can they
biggest
own
deportation in history.
this amount of land? This is crazy.
Well,
This
that's why
amount
we
of
got to
land.
deport them. That's why you got to vote for Trump so we can get
And
him
what
out of here.
I'm saying is that it's alarming that we do not have laws on books that would prevent Chinese from buying property.
You won't get no laws on book with these Democrats in office. I'm gonna tell you that now.
And he
You
said the
got to get the
Department of Homeland
Republicans in.
Security is also warned that the threat of Chinese spies slipping over the U.S. southern border, disguised as among the more than 300,000 who have already been admitted to this country since October last year, these spies will likely employ economic espionage. This is what we need to be scared of. Okay.
So when Trump comes in office, you're going to see a lot of less Asians in black neighborhoods running their businesses.
And if Kamala is not talking about that first and foremost,
She will
or
never
any
talk about
candidate,
that. She is pro illegal immigration. She will never talk about that.
you understand what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna for anybody that wants to know, that's from New York Post. It was a New York Post article, and I did a Google search of China and just for anyone that wants to know, I typed in Chinese military bases in America and exclusive Chinese owned farmland next to 19 U.S. military bases. Just if you want to know.
I'm not worried about that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not worried about that. United States does see China as a threat. I don't believe they're so naive to not see a growing Chinese military threat in this country. I don't think that's anything serious
You
to
don't
worry
think that's serious that they what?
I live.
about. No,
I grew up right by the Air Force. I grew up right by Air Force Base, and you can like go on it. You can go shopping on it. You can go do everything on it. In fact, just what George Bush went doing 9/11 in Shreveport, Louisiana. You ain't gonna see nothing. They can be doing something right in front of your face. You're not gonna be able to see anything.
I don't understand why people are not like worried about that.
Well, listen. So we just told you the
Alchemizing energy.
solution, right?
Just
The
believe
solution is to
people are
vote
worried
for
about
Trump
it.
so we can deport them out of there. This is the
Alchemizing,
solution.
alchemizing energy. Remember how white people move. They'll go around. They won't go directly to you. To address what you just said, they're going first towards these young people and these children. One thing that's why I'm going to bring up the situation with the Ivy Leagues when the Asians sued. They're complaining that we're not getting in. You should follow merit. We have the test scores. White people are not going to sit and allow the vast majority of these Ivy League institutions to be majority Asian. They're not going to do
Well,
that.
that's the small hats, not the white boys.
Well,
That
that's what
was
the
the small
Asians
hats.
get for saying no to
That's
affirmative
what boys.
action.
That's what. Excuse me. What's your
Oh,
ban?
yeah, that's what the Asians get for saying no to affirmative action.
Well,
No, that's the small hats, y'all. It's the small hats discriminating against whites and Asians. It's
What
not the white
difference does
boys.
it make? I'm
No,
sorry.
I brought it up, alchemizing. I'm the one who brought it up. So the reason why I did was as a way to check and balance their influence here in the United States. We do know the economics when it comes to Asians businesses. They do go into majority Black, and they do. That's how they gain their wealth. 1/3 of their money passes through Black hands. It is a Black person giving them money, and we've seen that over the course of the past 30 years. The great issue is that when you get a little bit too big for your britches, and then you're suing these schools under the pretense of a discrimination after you have already been allowed to gain a lot of wealth in this country. There is checks and balances. And I'm saying this to you from like a cultural standpoint. Like what you're bringing up is a very good point, alchemizing energy. Like, yes, why is the government not doing anything about this? And it is a problem. And I've seen that it is a problem. Where it's starting. So what is the actual response to what you just said is that it's being addressed culturally. White people are definitely putting grounds and steps, not halting them, but there is some pushback as to what you can and cannot do in terms of where you can and cannot start your business, what you can and cannot do, and you just being seen, your image. You're not just going to assimilate into American society because they want to be white. They want
But
to,
hold on, can I just say
and
this?
it's not going to be allowed.
Can I just
Yes.
okay, come on,
No.
okay. I'm sorry, your name is AA. How do I address you?
Yeah, that's fine. Or Kamala versus Trump.
A. Okay, Kamala versus Trump. So Kamala versus Trump. So Kamala raised almost a 200 million overnight. How do we know that the owners of these farmlands didn't help fund this? They say it was a million black women, but how do we know that China ain't involved with raising this money? You know, if they're already here,
What is your fear with China?
You
I
know
mean,
how the
'cause
money is raised.
what is
Someone
your fear?
already on the live
what is
mentioned
my
it.
fear
This
with
money,
China? What?
the money is through PACs, alchemizing energy. Like you're asking very important questions. Like
Oh,
these
did you know
are.
China has businesses in Africa, like Nigeria and
Oh, I
everywhere?
know that. We all know there's like 2 million people in
They're
Africa.
not going to take over America.
No, they will. You white people will never allow that to happen. That's what I'm trying to explain to alchemizing
Exactly.
energy. They will never. White people never allow them to take over the United States. You will never be white, which is what they want. That will never happen. They're trying to assimilate. They want to be white more than anything. You know, it's not going to happen. It's not. That's what they consider discrimination. It's not basically being seen as white.
So you don't think that they have the ability, if they're running like the majority, like a big farmland next to the military base, that that's not a threat? Like, why would you even put the farmland?
Explain how the farmland is a threat on the military base. Explain what that farmland will do to the military base.
It's not. You're not hearing her point. You're kind of dismissing what she's saying. Her point.
Because of its proximity to the military base, they might sneak in, take the weapons, take over the damn country.
It's not just that. Look at what she's asking.
Lord, man.
Optimizing energy is first the optics of the situation. It does look very particular that you have a foreign adversary buying land near your military base. Yes.
Thank you.
It's sketch as hell.
And they're coming into the border, probably going to the farmlands. I mean, I don't know where they're going to when they come into the country from South America. Who knows where they're going? You think they're all opening up Chinese food shops? No, they're going probably to these military areas, and they already have. So that it's it's a farmland. So
Ladies,
we don't know if these are.
Let me just come in a little bit here, if you don't mind. I mean, I'm hearing this back and forth about China, and it's almost like, really? Listen, America and China, it's all that, in my opinion anyway, all that saber wrestling and acting like they're enemies and all that is really not real. Because if you look at the biggest investor in America, it's China, and it's not being done clandestinely. If you know how much money in San Francisco, literally large infrastructure developments are funded in partnership with China. The prime lines belong to China, and it's because American capital realizes where they're going to make their next profit. So it's all these talk about China, and it's for public consumption, and it's for public because America has always operated a foreign policy where there is an adversary, there's always an other. And that's played up to create this notion of, first it was Soviet Russia that was the enemy until the Russian economy and all that tanked, and there was all these breakaways. So now they have to create another adversary in a country like China. China has pretty much, look at the history of China and look at its strategy. It's looking for a dominance economically, but China is not looking for militarily dominance. They're not looking to change the world status quo. Yes, you talked about BRICS and these countries that are breaking apart from the dollar. But these are inevitabilities. As countries become more powerful, they're going to look for alternatives. America, like Europe was the superpower of the world. Colonial wealth came in. At some point, Europe has been, and America took it up. America was the new Rome. And another cycle is going to run, and China's going to come. So I think that sometimes
China's going to come and do what?
sound like we're very,
Finish
very.
that sentence, because
No, what I'm
I think
saying
that
is
people are
sometimes
very.
you just have to look at you have to look at the whole trajectory. You have to understand the not only the politics and read between the lines, but as people who are claiming to be so well versed, you have to look at the thing in a balanced way. I feel like America has already been prepared for this China. I mean, it was America
Trying to
that
take
made
over? They're trying to take over? What have we been
Latoya,
There's no China takeover in America.
Latoya, why don't you touch on the fact?
China
Latoya,
is just growing.
what about the
Yeah, we kind of
America
diverted
that
way
made
off the
China.
topic too on China. This
Guy,
is
guy,
like
guy,
a
guy.
complete
One mic,
diversion.
Let's get back to topic. Let me pass the DMV Pat. DMV Pat, go ahead. Unmute yourself, DMV Pat. DMV Pat.
Jump in. Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna jump in.
I was going to ask Kamala versus Trump. Knowing what you know now, are you still confused?
We're going back. We're getting back on top. Kamala.
Yeah, I was going to ask Kamala versus Trump about Kamala Harris because she came on the last time and she was like she's undecided, and I'm just confused because when you come on and talk, it seems like you understand the system, you understand how corrupt the Democrats are. So I'm just confused. How are you still undecided between Kamala Harris and Trump, or is this more of a symbolic vote for you that you want to see a black woman in power? That's why you are undecided.
Dynast, I actually explained why I am undecided on your live the other day.
So T, she's undecided because she's concerned that the white people in her community, she's afraid of the white people who live in her community. That's why she might vote for Kamala.
You know what's interesting? I found that to be really interesting because it's like, we hear this all the time that when Trump was president, white people got emboldened. Like, are there any statistics showing an increase of attacks against blacks by whites? So where is that coming from? I'm just curious.
Joy Reid in The View.
Yeah, because it's like I don't even white people. I'll be honest with you. I feel like white people are not about that to square up with some black. They're not just waking up. I'm just gonna hunt some Negroes. Like I don't know where black people are getting it from.
I'll tell you where they get it
Kamala
from.
Harris is gonna fix that.
Oh,
How?
I'll tell you where they get it from. White people get it from other black people. And my situation is specifically black women. That is who is triggering their racism.
But
and
Kamala Harris is Indian,
I don't Kamala versus Trump. You can't be. No white folks are not worried about you in that area.
Yes, that is true, Shubham. She is Indian. But
To Kamala versus Trump, those white people are not worried about you. Trust me.
She's viewed as a black woman, Shubham. I'm not disagreeing with you, Shubham. I'm not. I'm just dictating. I'm just saying is that a white woman, when they look at Kamala, even knowing that she has an Indian mother, they're always going to see a black woman. Like that doesn't, like, the biracial doesn't exist with white people. You're black and you're white, and then there's other Asian people. But no white woman is looking at Kamala and giving a damn that she's Indian. They'll know, of course, yes, you have Indian ancestry. India is a culture. It's a country. But when they see Kamala, especially with the last name Harris, and she's from the Bay Area, they're seeing a black woman. Moreover, she's also an AKA. So, and she fits the AKA blueprint. So yeah, Kamala is black. Oh, yeah.
I just have a question. How is Kamala, if you're already living around a bunch of racist white people who are dangerous, how would Kamala Harris protect you? This is not what I'm understanding, because they're going to still be dangerous regardless who is the president.
And
Kamala's not going to change that.
But it's my situation, and a vote is your vote for whatever reason.
But the logic. How is Kamala going to have is she going to issue some grand sweep that all black women are protected? Like I'm not understanding the logic.
You just wonder, and I don't understand, nor do I care, because it's not my business. Your logic for voting for whoever you vote for.
No, it's policy wise, but it's like you are breaking all these concepts down politically. But then when it comes to you, I don't know. I don't see the logic there. But I
I
just
put a lot
find it
in
odd that you
poverty
have all this
I'm a
this
homeowner.
intellectual prowess
Yeah, I'm a
until it
homeowner.
comes to voting.
So I'm going to vote for what is best for me.
Okay, let me read these super chats. Idris Singleton, thank you for the $5 holla. Me too, fine. I'm voting for Trump. Some of my LBs are starting to wake up. They might not vote for Trump, but they understand why people like me are doing it. All gas, no brakes. Republicans need to utilize Brian Donalds and Wesley Hunt. These sassy black women are going to destroy these white Republicans on the DEI issue. I thought there were smart people in the Trump camp. I don't think so. Sekou Kele, bro, who on Trump ticket is a model to your son. Kamala, I really don't care. Ben Carson, Ben Carson, his documentary, I think it's called Magic Hands. It was a great documentary. Sekou Kele, bro. Okay, here we go. Kamala's lineage is South Asian, Chinese, or East. Because Oprah, another JC Inc. Because Oprah is in Halle Berry and Victor type sexy. I don't know, Vivica type sexy. I'm sorry. JC Inc. Harris is a European last name. She is not black. All right. Woke
Yeah,
Quill.
Kamala Harris did lock an innocent black man in jail.
Okay, let me finish. Woke Quill. Trump offered the platinum plan. Kamala rolled her neck and laughed. Facts. Akil, $2. I feel like Biden may croak before November. All right, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so basically, Kamala Harris, you just made a great point. And everybody salute. Sorry, I have to say hello to everybody. Salute everybody. But Kamala Harris made her career on putting people in jail for cannabis, for marijuana, right? And then she later admitted that she smokes it. So, talk about two-faced, and I don't think she has a chance in Hades of winning. I don't think she has a chance. She has probably been the most
hypocritical,
most unuseful vice president of all time. People always remember they were talking about Dan Quayle back in the day, where Dan Quayle was a moron and stuff like that. Kamala Harris, she's nothing but a cackling idiot, and she slept her way to the top.
But
And
that's though, Mike. But Dan Quayle couldn't spell tomato. Remember that? He couldn't spell
So,
tomato.
I mean, if you like her, go ahead. I mean, if that's what you like, if you like a cackling moron, that's what you like. Go for it. Cast your vote. But Trump is sharp as a tack. They tried to take him out, and they didn't succeed. I'm just telling you, under Trump, black, white, yellow, anybody is better off. The economy is better. Joe Biden has destroyed this economy. He has destroyed it. And that's the truth. Look at how everything costs 3 times as much. When Trump was in office,
$2 gas.
Life was gravy. It was gravy. This is just ridiculous. Everything is 2 to 3 times the price.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing. The Democratic Party, they don't look out for us anymore. And I voted Democrat. I vote Republican and Democrat. I don't take the aisle. I vote for the best person. That's what I do. And I'm just telling you right now, Kamala Harris would be the worst mistake for this country. That's what I think. What do y'all think?
Well, Mike, I think the scary thing is the country turning into California voters, because we all see California's going under economically and people are fleeing. But guess what? People are still voting Democrat across the board. Gavin Newsom is still winning his governorship elections. And I feel like if the entire American population comes as dumb as the California voter, we are done.
Yeah.
But do you think
Kamala
that she
don't care
stands
for
a
nobody
chance
but herself.
against Hillary Clinton in the Democratic National Convention? Because they're both heading there. So my thing is, even though everybody's all Kamala, but I don't think that she stands a chance against Hillary Clinton. I think that what's going to happen is that the Democratic Convention is going to be divided. They're going to vote for Hillary Clinton. There's going to be a riot, and it's going to be a whole big deal. That's what I believe.
I think black women would make a lot of noise about
not
that.
endorse Kamala. Notice Obama has not said a single word about Kamala. Michelle Obama has not said anything. Hillary is quiet, even Bill. So like the top people, also David Axelrod, he's the brain trust of Obama, that man. So the top people have not said anything. It is important that Pelosi said something, but the reason Pelosi endorsed Kamala is because, remember, Nancy Pelosi, she's Congress, she's the House. So she does want Kamala to run and be successful. Even if Kamala doesn't win, she's still going to give a one. She's still going to put down for Congress, for the House. Because the whole issue with Kamala is making sure you have someone who protects down ballot. Biden doesn't protect down ballot.
I think that Hillary Clinton question, I think we're underestimating. I think a lot of black women will be very upset with that. And I always said that to black women's credit, when they all come together and demand something for the Democratic Party, they usually get it. I don't think they're going to skip over Kamala and put Hillary Clinton. A lot of liberal black women will also see that as racist, because they're going to say, well, how dare you? We are your voting bloc. And you're going to sit there and skip over this black woman and put this white woman in. I just don't see that happen. I think it is going to be Kamala Harris.
I think the only
I'm willing to
woman,
wager against that. I'm willing to put my money up on that. I believe it's going to be Hillary Clinton.
I think the only woman that has a chance to beat Trump would be Michelle Obama. I mean, her popularity.
Yes, I would agree with that.
She doesn't want to run.
There's nothing Trump can do against Michelle Obama. Nothing.
She doesn't want to run. And that's what's very interesting, because we know she's going to win. And not only that, people like Michelle Obama just by herself as a woman.
I like her. I like her.
Then you bring in
I wouldn't vote for her because of her policies, but I agree.
But you bring in the husband who is just as popular. So you have Michelle is popular, Barack is popular, and then the Obamas are very popular. They're still the king and queen of the Democrat Party. Those two together brought in almost 60 million, just Hollywood money, 60 million to the DNC coffers. That was the time Biden had some issues on stage and Barack Obama had to literally usher him away. That was when George Clooney's like, okay, something is going on. Like, y'all have to do something about this. Because
this is the thing.
Biden was making Obama look bad to the Hollywood family, the Hollywood friends who are the money. You know, Hollywood loves these Obamas big time. Ooh,
so Kamala raised this money for her campaign. How much money you think is going to get behind Hillary Clinton? And do you think it'll compare?
Why do you believe Hillary Clinton expressed any interest of running against Trump currently?
She's Hillary. She's a slick woman. Alchemizing energy. You're right. You make a good point regarding Hillary. And there's something else I need to tell you. Chelsea is not her. That's not Bill Clinton's daughter. That's a whole other black. I'm sorry, Dynast. But Hillary is slick. So you make a good point. She's probably planning in the cut right now. Don't put anything past her. Everyone on this panel,
That would be shocked. That will really be shocking. I think y'all are truly underestimating the anger of what that will cause with black women and black liberal men. That they will skip over someone black and put someone white there.
I would love for it to happen, because I would love to see.
Oh, me too. Me too, bro.
I'm laughing. I'm trolling. But so Kamala versus
I'm gonna rub it in their face. They done put a white woman over this black woman, and y'all gonna still vote? That would be a great talking point.
Mm-hmm.
And black women.
So 1 second, Kamala versus Trump. Then I'm passing that back to Mike. Then we're gonna close out. So you think Hillary's gonna be in that get the nomination?
It's not that I think Hillary's going to get the nomination. I'm saying that Hillary is scheming, scamming, and doing what she does best, which is be Hillary. That woman wants that office. And it should be noted that you have the top people, the money people, have not endorsed Kamala. The people in this party who bring in the money, they have not endorsed her. That's something to be said. We don't know
so-called black women, right? She got on the phone with so-called black women, and then they raised the money. But
look at the money they raised. I mean, it's great, 2 million, but
$2 million is nothing.
2 million is nothing. That's barely an income in the year. I mean, shoot, a lot of us can pull that in a year, 2 years, 2 mil, and that's what they did.
Watch when we see where Hillary Clinton come with. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I think that she's gonna end up being.
You make it alchemizing energy. You're making a good point, because to add to your point, first off, Hillary has deep international connections, especially the Saudi Arabian family, deep connections. She really does. This is what happened, and someone on your panel, Larry, he had a great live Dynast when he mentioned the situation with Hillary Clinton, Libya, and Obama. Obama was not happy with what Hillary did in Libya and how everything that happened with Gaddafi, the way that man died. Obama was not okay with that. Hillary,
No, you give Obama too much
And do
credit.
you think that he's saving his endorsement for what Hillary?
I think
He did not endorse Kamala, but do you
I
think
think he is saving his
endorsement for
because
when
Obama's
Hillary Clinton
endorsement
comes?
is going to take it over the level. Let's just say it's so neck and neck, real tight, like real tight. Watch Obama and the wife come through and make it happen. Like they're
let me
They're going to campaign hard.
Well, Mike, let me pass you the mic. So Mike, go ahead and close this out. You got any questions? Anything else you want to say? Then we'll close out.
No, and then the whole Gaddafi thing was really interesting because the theory is that he wanted to go back to the gold standard, basically where the money is backed up in gold. And that's the theory. That's why he was taken out. It had nothing to do with politics or the Clintons or anything like that. So that's a theory. But no, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think Hillary's going to run. I don't think so. I don't see that happening. But if someone else runs and they win, they may put her in their cabinet. Does that make sense? They'll put her as the speaker or something like that, because there's so much hatred for the Clintons right now with all the nefarious things that happened. Truth or not, I don't think if she ran, she could win.
No.
I don't think so. But if a Democrat does win, I think that person may put her in their cabinet as
because she wants to get back. Because she wants to get back into
State.
government. Yeah.
Or just make a full-fledged black woman president.
The only black
Democrats don't care about race, man. They just
guys, we're going to go ahead and close out, but I'm going to come back on in about an hour and a half. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Peace.